Hello, greetings and welcome. My name is Steve, and you've found the newest Orioles dedicated live stream YouTube channel. That's right. That's what this is. It's brand new, and I'm just getting my feet wet. So, with the upcoming 2024 Orioles season, the plan is for me to live stream and provide commentary, pretty much like a radio broadcast. But we'll have graphics to go along with it. And yeah, if for some reason you're unable to catch the game via television, or you just prefer maybe a more interactive experience, I would advise you to maybe subscribe, get the notification bell tapped. And, well, if you're an Orioles fan, do you need to be notified? You know when we're going to be on. Right, yeah. And I'll just go ahead and tell you this right now. I'm not the world's biggest expert on the Orioles, but I am tied for the most passionate fan. There might be someone out there as passionate as I am, but I cannot come to grips with the notion that someone out there loves the Orioles more than I do. As much, I hope. But, yeah. So the deal is to get myself prepared for the upcoming season, I'm going to be calling a few games for practice, some retro games, and then when spring training comes around, hopefully there will be at least a handful of games that I'll be calling as well. But of course, with spring training, it's kind of difficult to nail down what's going to be televised and at what times. I'm actually quite far away from the continental United States, so games that are on at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon would be in the middle of the night for me. I'm willing to do that during the regular season. I'm going to flip my schedule upside down to be able to be a part of every game for the season. But in spring training, cut me a little bit of slack. But otherwise, yeah, we're going to be all Orioles all the time, every day, April through September, and hopefully plenty of October. All right? So for today, we're going to be watching, by request, the opening day game between the Orioles and the Boston Red Sox, 1989. This is the famous, if you're an Orioles fan, 1989 season. This is the year following the dreaded 88 season, in which they notoriously dropped their first 21 games that year, making themselves national news and pretty much became a national joke to anybody who followed sports at the time. It really lit a fire under me, I can tell you that. I was an 11-year-old boy when this happened, and it's what really drew me to start following the Orioles. That's what it took. It took futility. It took just an awful team with an awful record for me to go, and everybody making fun of them, for me to go, you know what, I'm taking this team under my wing. I'm going to help see this team back to their glory days, which unfortunately all happened before my time. I was born in 77, you see, so I was only 6 the last time the Orioles made and won a World Series. It's been a 40-year drought. I know you fellow Oriole fans out there have been keeping track. It's not a news flash to you, but I've got a hunch, guys. I've got a hunch. This could be our year. All right. So sit back, prepare that I might take a break or two. I actually have an Orioles piece of merchandise that's going to be delivered to my residence apparently at some point soon. So I might have to jump away for a minute, but otherwise, if you're watching this later, just skip ahead if you see any sort of pause or something going on. But yeah, it's the 89 Orioles taking on the Red Sox. Pitching matchup, we got Dave Schmidt on the mound for Baltimore, facing who else in the late 80s for Boston on opening day? Yes, it's the Rocket, Roger Clemens. So I'll just go ahead and get the stream started here. And of course, we're watching old games uploaded, usually from a VHS copy. The quality isn't going to be that good, but please keep in mind, once the season is underway, you're not going to be seeing any sort of live video. I can't do that. That's a copyright infringement. I think everybody knows that. But yeah, so we do have the luxury of being able to watch it together like we're doing now as Schmidt takes his warm-up pitches. You can see some debris on the infield already as well. And, of course, this is being played at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. This is just a couple of years before the opening of Camden Yards in downtown. There's a shot at the legend, the myth, the icon, the Iron Man, Cal Ripken Jr., the face of the Orioles franchise, and dare I say the city of Baltimore at this point in time. By the way, doing the actual broadcast of this game, Brooks Robinson is in on color commentary. This is one of those Channel 2 Baltimore opening day games. This is not home team sports or any sort of national broadcast. This is straight off local Baltimore television. All right, we're about to get underway. I was hoping maybe they'd flash the lineup card up here, but I've got it in front of me. I'll go ahead and read it off to you. For the Red Sox, we have Wade Boggs leading off and playing third base. He'll be followed by Marty Barrett, who plays second. Dwight Evans bats third, playing right. Mike Greenwell will hit cleanup and plays left. Ellis Burks is in center, batting fifth. He'll be followed by Jim Rice, the DH. Nick Asaski at first. Rich Gedman, the catcher, batting eighth. And finally, Jody Reed, the shortstop, in the 9-hole. Hello, Pool. And yes, I did read about that. That is, of course, terrible news. The first pitch from Schmidt is outside, and we are underway here on opening day, 1989, Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. And the next pitch is swung on and grounded back to Schmidt. He knocks it down, picks it up, and throws to first in time, and there's one down. As the crowd gives a nice cheer. Again, this is following probably the worst season in the history of the franchise. So you can imagine the eternal optimism of a new opening day following a season like that. You make a simple out on a ground ball back to the pitcher, and the applause was as if we had just clinched a playoff spot. So, yes, little do these fans know what summer they were going to be in store for. Here's a first pitch swing by Barrett, and this is knocked down by the third baseman. Worthington picks it up, throws to first in time. Nice play. 2 down. Worthington playing that hot corner the way you need to. If the ball comes scorching at you, just knock it down. Keep it in front of you. Keep it within arm's reach. You got time. Pick it up. That's how you play third base. So 2 away, and here's Dwight Evans. And I need to take a look at the levels here. Okay. Hey, Pool, do you hear much of the actual broadcast of the game bleeding through? Or hopefully it's not. Hopefully you can't hear anything, but it's okay if you hear a little bit of a murmur. Here's Dwight Evans, Dewey. With that crouch of his at the plate, he takes a first pitch strike from Schmidt. Looked like a breaking ball of some sort. And the next offering is low and outside. Will YouTube let you edit title of stream to Boston? What do you mean? What do you mean edit title of stream? Oh, no. Thank you. Why does it say that? This is completely wrong. This is completely wrong. All right. Thank you. It looked like a swing and a miss versus Evans there. Wow. Thank you. Hopefully that's going to show up for people. Don't hear too much audio. And here's Evans flying out to shallow right center. Gonzalez went out to make the catch. And the Red Sox go down 1-2-3. So a positive start. Is that Vi Ripken? Now, I did pick. There's two versions of this game on YouTube. I picked the one that was longer with commercials because I'd like to take a little break from talking. But for now, I'm okay. I can skip ahead. Okay, here we go. Heading into the bottom of the first. And I guess we'll take a look at the Orioles lineup here. As soon as I get this out of the way. Brady Anderson will be leading it off and playing center. He'll be followed by Phil Bradley in left. Steve Finley gets the shot at batting third. He's in right field. Cal Ripken is the cleanup man playing short. Larry Sheets, the designated hitter. Mickey Tettleton, the switch-hitting catcher, will bat sixth. Jim Traber at first base. Craig Worthington at the opposite corner, batting eighth. And at second base, the utility man galore, who's in for the injured Bill Ripken, Rene Gonzalez. And on the mound, again, for the Yankees, you know him, you hate him. Oh, wait a minute. I mean, for the Red Sox. I think this is why I got confused. The Red Sox road uniforms look an awfully lot like the Yankees, especially when you're watching an old school broadcast. You look at the back of this jersey, you would swear you might be looking at a road Yankees jersey. That's my mistake. Prepare for more. All right. We're about to get started here in the bottom of the first. Sideburns. Brady Anderson stepping in, and the first pitch from Clemens is in there for a called strike. Clemens, of course, power pitcher, one of the leaders all time in strikeouts. Here's his next offering, and this is a breaking ball that drops in nicely on the outside edge for a called strike, 0-2. Adrian Beltre, Joe Mauer, and Todd Helton made the Hall of Fame tonight. That's good for Helton. You know, a lot of people think he didn't deserve the credit for his production because he played in Colorado, but take a look at his road numbers. They weren't exactly bad either. This pitch to Anderson's outside, and the count 1-2. Barrett lays down the sign, and the Rocket deals. Brady fights this one off. He fights it off foul over to the right. Here's the 1-2, and it's a breaking ball swung on and hit on the ground to first. Isaski fields and will take it to the bag himself for the unassisted putout. And leadoff man retired here for the Orioles in the bottom of the first. Here comes Phil Bradley. Phil Bradley would be instrumental in this 1989 team, playing mostly in left field. He had a good spring to prep him for this day, hitting .296. And the first offering to Bradley from Clemens is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. Hey, thanks for that update, Pool. The 0-1 is a fastball in there. Clemens just painting. Vintage Roger Clemens here. Throwing strikes, throwing hard, and then throwing in those curveballs to keep people off balance. A check swing by Bradley. Did he go? No, says the first base umpire apparently. Bradley, though, completely fooled and lucky to still be standing at the plate. The 1-2 to him is a check swing, but this time it doesn't matter. It's a called strike three. Clemens might have been given an extra inch or two on that outside corner, but too close to take. And Bradley will go back to the dugout. 2 down. This looked about, yeah, pretty much what I said. Maybe an inch or two off the plate, but too close to take. So with 2 down, that'll bring up Steve Finley. Finley getting the opening day nod in right field. Of course, he would be part of a trade between now and next season that will go down in infamy for the Orioles. He, along with pitchers Kurt Schilling, you might have heard of him, and Pete Harnisch, all-star, all three sent to Houston for some guy named Glenn Davis. Here's a swing and a fly ball to right field. Going to be a can of corn out there for Evans. He's battling the sun, makes the catch, and the inning is over. We're through one. Yes, WMAR TV Channel 2 here as we take a look at the 33rd Street entrance outside the ballpark. We're going to be heading to the second inning here shortly as I skip through some old Budweiser ads. How you doing tonight, Pool? There you go. 89. There's some 89 Baltimore traffic for you. Baltimore, man, listening to Brooks just say the word Baltimore, it warms the cockles of my heart. All right, top of the second we go. And leading off here for the Red Sox is Mike Greenwell. Greenwell had a great rookie campaign and has now earned himself a spot batting cleanup for these Red Sox. Here's a pitch inside. Left-handed hitter. Pretty good power. Pretty good contact hitter as well. Pitch is, he looks at it, a big lean by Greenwell over the plate, but it's a called strike as Schmidt drops one in there on the outside corner. And the next offering is swung on and hit in the air, right field, actually shallow. The second baseman going way out, and Gonzalez, he and Steve Finley having a conversation about that one. That looked like the right fielder's ball to play. Clearly, it's easier for someone to jog forward to catch a ball than it is to jog backwards. But Gonzalez does make the catch. No harm, no foul. And there's one away here in the second. Here comes Ellis Burks. Yet another outfielder with plenty of power in this Red Sox lineup. The pitch is a called strike, belt high fastball. You got Jim Rice, former outfielder, now relegated to DH, hitting right after that. So your 3 through 6 hitters, Evans, Greenwell, Burks, and Rice. Pretty formidable. The next pitch to Burks is fouled off to the left. No score here in the top of the second. Opening day here. Retro play call, the 1989 Orioles-Red Sox opening day matchup. Dave Schmidt kicks and deals, and this one's topped foul off to the left. Still 2 strikes on Burks. And here comes Schmidt's next offering. It's a curveball swung on and grounded foul off third base side. Worthington was able to field, but it was a few feet on the foul side of the line. Schmidt gets a new baseball, rubs it up. It'll be a few seconds before we see another pitch. Burks stepping back in, taps the plate with his bat. And Schmidt's next pitch is well outside. Easy for Burks to lay off that one. I've lost track of the count, to be honest. I'm going to go ahead and guess it's 2-2. Sorry about that. Next one is a swing and a miss, and down goes Burks. Schmidt gets him with the high outside fastball. Probably a little bit out of the zone, but it looked probably appealing. That high heat, you just want to go up there and uppercut it, but Burks Actually made a foul, tipped it. Looks like Tettleton was able to hold on to a foul tip there. Regardless, 2 down, and here's the veteran Jim Rice. He looks at one low on the outside corner for a called strike. Pretty wide strike zone here, apparently, from the umpire. They're calling them on the outside. They're calling them up. They're calling them low. And here's a swing and a ground ball. He went and chased low and away and was only able to ground it to third. Worthington fields it cleanly over to first in time. And for the second straight inning, the Red Sox are retired in order. We go to the bottom of the second, no score. Middle of the order due up for the Orioles. Look at some of these old ads. I tell you what. Yeah. That's why I'm a retro YouTube channel, Pool. I plan on not having too many graphics and bells and whistles on my streams either. You know, we're here for what matters. My voice. You know what I mean? Like I've seen some streamers they've got so much like noise, so much visual noise going on their channel. I can't even look at it. It's like looking at like a laptop that's gotten like 50 pop-up ads with viruses. All right, we're going to go to the bottom of the second here at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. 1989, opening day, April 3rd, between the Orioles and the Red Sox. Scoreless. Cal Ripken Jr. getting ready to step in to face Roger Clemens. You want to talk about a couple of legends of the game facing off. You're looking at it right now. Pretty much both of these players right in the prime of their careers here. First pitch lollipop curveball from Clemens is in there for a called strike. And Pool, I haven't settled really. It's hard for me to say what I'm going to use until I start doing actual live games and trying some of the different interfaces that show what's going on. Here's a check swing. It's a called strike. Wow, this strike zone, very generous, but also consistent. Both Schmidt and Clemens getting the benefit of the doubt on these close pitches near the zone. Ripken with a upright stance. Swing and a foul. He went after a high fastball. Was a little bit late. Where's everybody else at, Pool? By the way, I got started earlier tonight because the plan was to go to the hospital, then go get my hair cut. But I went to the barber, and my barber wasn't there. So I'm like, no, I'll wait. Swing and a miss by Ripken, so he'll take a seat as Clemens gets the best of him to begin the bottom of the second. This was a challenge fastball, and Ripken was unable to meet said challenge. Bit of a flailing swing there by Ripken. Just trying to protect more than anything, get a piece of it, but he was unable to. Here's Larry Sheets, left-handed power hitter. This one's upstairs, maybe a little bit outside. Sheets is DHing, I would think, right? Traber's at first. Yeah, Larry Sheets is the DH, and he's now sitting in a hitter's count 2-0. This is the first time Clemens has fallen behind a batter. Not much of a spring training for Sheets, just 217 down in Florida. The pitch is a high fly ball, right field, but unfortunately, Sheets, it was a high fastball, but Sheets actually got under it. Nearly squared it up. Just missed. Instead, it's a high fly ball to medium deep right field. So with 2 down, that'll bring up the switch hitting catcher and the player who in my youth whose batting stance I mimicked more than anyone else. It's Fruit Loops. It's Mickey Tettleton. He looks at one upstairs outside. I want to know. There's just something about this giant farm boy, corn-fed monster of a person with this very deliberate, almost zen-like batting stance. Next pitch is a called strike, outside edge. He takes the bat, just swings it towards the pitcher a couple of times, and just cradles the bat behind him with this up and down stance. This one's upstairs. Yes, Craig Counselor. Yeah, if you want to talk about weird stances, we'll be here all day. Tettleton's wasn't necessarily that weird compared to some of the ones out there. It's just, I don't know. For me, it's iconic. The pitch, there's a curveball in there for a called strike. Of course, when it comes to switch hitting catchers, the Orioles have one right now. Maybe the best catcher in the league already, and he's just getting started, Adley Rutschman. Here's a swing, and a ball fisted, popped up on the infield. Actually, they must have actually hit the ground first because they needed to make the play at the bag. They do so, and the inning is over. Apologies on that call. Again, working with a VHS copy of a 35-year-old game. You know, sometimes you can't really see how the ball got to where it went. And we got RC in the house. Hello, Uncle Frank. Where is everyone? RC, you're here. Why are you laughing about that? RC, like, I'd like to see you around and stuff, but if you're gonna show up just to like make fun of me, you can split, dude. I'm just starting a brand new channel. What do you want? Do you expect Mr. Beast numbers? Yeah, and I'm gonna call a baseball game. That's the idea. You know, it's what I want to do. But you can give me all the laughing emojis you want, buddy. If you want to play it that way, that's fine. You're just teasing. All right. But the thing is, RC, the best thing about the best practice with teasing is like, don't tease about somebody's like livelihood, and don't do it the first thing when you show up. That's all. Like, establish a hello and what's going on, and then maybe work in a tease. But when you just come out guns blazing, it's not a good look, man. I'm just saying. It's not a good look. And we got a shot of the... Oh, it's George H.W. Bush, the president at the time. He's got some nachos there. What has he got, some soup? Oh, he's chowing down on something. Appreciate it, RC. I appreciate it. Look, I'm not trying to, like, jump on you, but it's sort of, you know... You throw an egg at me, I'm going to throw an egg back. That's just the way I am, you know. Here's a look at the Orioles dugout. And Robinson's on the phone for some reason. All right, you're talking about Bush and the... Oh, wait, wasn't that the other... Oh, no, you're right. He threw up in China. Wait. Wasn't it the other Bush that choked on the pretzel? Yeah, RC, I hope you pop in more. Again, I'm calling games from the past just to sort of get myself acclimated and comfortable with doing play calling. And again, obviously, for anyone watching this later, now, whatever, once the season's underway, we're not going to have the benefit of video for you guys to look at. I'll be seeing the game. But for now... You get a look at how I call a game. The pitch to who's up? I don't know, but it's a called strike on the outside corner. It appears to be Marty Barrett, the catcher. I do apologize. A little bit of a distraction there. Swing and a high fly ball, and boy, the cameraman had trouble. Boy, going back is Finley, and he runs into the wall, making the catch. Oh, and he doesn't look, he looks a little ginger. He face planted into the wall, running full gas. I'd like to know what the cameraman was doing on that play. Here's the replay. Warning track. He takes it on an angle, and yes, face first into that wall. No protection whatsoever. No way to buffer that hit. And boy, that could have done a number on his neck. We're not sure. RC, I'm going to guarantee you that by the end of this baseball season coming up, this channel is going to have more subs than my other channel. I guarantee it. Yes, there is an audience for this. Yeah, I agree. Richie Bancels, the Orioles trainer, is out to take a look at Finley, and it would appear maybe his shoulder. He might have popped his shoulder out. He might have popped it out. Right now, Finley's cranking the shoulder to test it out. Brady Anderson also in the conversation. And it looks like Finley's going to try and continue here. And the crowd with a big round of applause as Finley makes a fantastic play and then says, don't take me out of this game. He does not look comfortable out there, though. It has to be said. It would not surprise me if the next time he's up to hit, we're going to see a pinch hitter. He might be able to catch a fly ball with a bum shoulder, but you're not going to be able to do anything at the plate. Once again, a look at the play, and you really have to admire the courage to slam into the wall like that. Right, we're back underway, and it is Gedman at the plate. That was a Sasky who flew out to right, just to keep everybody up to date. As Schmidt has retired the first 7 batters he has faced. This one's low and into Barrett. And the next offering from Schmidt is upstairs and fouled back. For the upcoming 2024 season, the plan is to broadcast all 162 regular season games, along with a handful of spring training games. But the spring training stuff is all tentative scheduled stuff. I really don't know what the schedule is going to be like. Here's a swing and a miss from Gedman, and he'll be retired. Came up empty on that curveball from Schmidt, and there's 2 down. So 8 up, 8 down for Dave Schmidt, as he's been matching Roger Clemens here on this opening day. We're still looking for our first base runner of this ball game. And here's the number 9 man, Jody Reed. Red Sox shortstop, batting from the right side, takes a first pitch strike. And Reed takes a look back at the ump. I think at this point you have to assume it's a large strike zone. If it's close, you better swing. This one's inside, and the count even at 1-1. Schmidt's next pitch is swung on and fouled. Tapped out in front of the plate and off to the left. 2 strikes on Reed. You could still see some fans clamoring around, maybe making their seats for a sold-out game here on opening day. A chant picks up with 2 strikes and 2 outs. And the pitch is popped foul behind the plate. We'll do it again. What I find amazing looking at the shots of the crowd in the background is that I was alive during this time. I went to games this season. Look at the complete lack of Orioles merch. Like, there's no jerseys. Nobody's wearing. I mean, you'll see hats. But there's a lot of people out there still wearing, like, shirts and ties. Or just regular outfit. I mean, it's just amazing that things have changed over time. 35 years. Because I remember when I was a kid at this time, and I would look at clips of, like, I don't know, the 40s and how everybody was dressed in suits. Here's a swing and a line drive caught by Ripken. It took a long time for the cameraman to cut over to show us, but a soft liner to Ripken, and that's going to do it for the Red Sox here in the top of the third. Still no score here on opening day in Baltimore. As I'll skip through another series of commercials. Is that Sally Jesse? That's, my God, look at that. She looks like a Q-tip. All right, here we go. Bottom of the third we go. Bottom of the order due up for the Orioles. Again, like, look, there's one. I see one Orioles hat. Okay, there's two. There's three. It's just amazing. All right, so yeah, it'll be Jim Traber to lead things off, the Orioles' first baseman. And the first pitch from Clemens is low for ball one. Joan London. I haven't heard that name in a while. The 1-0 is upstairs, according to the ump. So Traber in a hitter's count. In a game where we're still looking for our first base runner, the 2-0 pitch is out. Oh, my God, they called that a strike? This umpire's giving about 4 inches off the plate outside. And there hasn't been too much pitching on the inside from either pitcher, because why? If the umpire is going to make a batter reach 4 inches off the plate outside. And yet Clemens does clip the inside corner on that one. And Traber is sitting there, hand on hip, shouting at the dirt. He is clearly not happy with this strike zone. And his body language would make some umpires react immediately. Here's the next pitch. Swung on and fouled back. Yeah, it could get warm in Baltimore in early April. It's sort of a crapshoot year to year. I've been in my share of opening days. Sometimes it's in the 50s, sometimes it's in the 70s. The next pitch, another foul ball. As Traber fights to stay alive. And we're back ready. Barrett lays down a finger. Let's see which one it is. And now, too much time taken. Traber asks for time. Clemens steps off the mound. And we'll go through all of this activity yet again. Life before the pitch clock, folks. What are you going to do? The pitch is upstairs, and Traber goes after it. This is probably my delivery. I'm probably going to have to run downstairs for a few minutes. Hold on. Hello? Gino House, Tini Lau, Mai? Okay, Nung Na Ti Kap. Yeah, just raw Nung Na Ti, okay? Okay. All right, I'll be right back, folks. Thanks, Pool RC, if you're still here, thanks for hanging out. If you're watching this later, just skip ahead when you see some motion in the video here. But I got to run downstairs and pick up a package. I'll be right back. Pool, you still there? RC, anybody? I live on the 5th floor, by the way, without an elevator, so I go up the stairs. I need a second to get my breath back. Well, Pool, would you like to be the only person to see the actual unveiling of my package? Let me see here. Folks, don't worry. This is a special stream. All right, here we go. Here we go. How you doing? I don't know how that's going to affect the, but yeah. It's time to give a companion to Miss Florence Pugh back here. I'm probably going to have to move Florence over to this side of the room because this is too important. All the way from America out to Thailand. And it's not, guys, this is not, I say guys, it's just Pool here. This is not, going to dazzle anybody. But I thought this was a nice... She's not being demoted. She's just being relocated. I still love her. I don't want her to put me in a bear outfit. Ah, yes. It's going to be a lot smaller than I thought it was, isn't it? This is... I paid a pretty penny for this. Like, it was really... I've been so economically frugal lately because of things. But I was like, I need to have at least one piece of Orioles merch. All right, let's take a look at this. See if I can look at this with you. Look at this with you together. We have, there it is. It's very simple, but it's very, what do you call it? Shit. That's it though, right there. You might be saying to yourself, Steve, couldn't you gotten something a little flashier, a little more, whatever, but I like it. It's got the orange, it's got the black, it's got the name, and it should pop out in the background, right? Basically put it where Florence is right now. You can almost see how it's going to sit. So that's it. I'm rolling it back up, putting it in the tube, and I'm not even going to put it up on the wall until I have to. Because once you do that, it's like driving a car off the lot. All right, where's the tube? I am a little bit disappointed. I thought it was going to be a little bit larger. Not much larger, but a little bit. I mean, I paid more than I've ever paid for a poster before. But to be fair, I used to work as a projectionist in a movie theater, and I had several posters that people would probably pay $100 for or more that I got for free. All right. We're back into the game. Let's go. What happened? We had, I remember we had Jim Traber not happy with the strike zone. Right? Yeah, Paul, if there's a movie that came out between about 1994 and 2001, 2002, swing and a miss. A split finger from Clemens that was absolutely unhittable. And Traber will head back to the dugout, probably fuming still over that one pitch. A flailing swing by Traber. No chance. Nasty stuff from Clemens there. One down, and here's Craig Worthington. First pitch is right over the heart of the plate for a called strike. Worthington, not too impressive down in Florida, hit just .211 with a home run, 10 RBI. Clemens working fast. This one's upstairs. Worthington able to lay off 1-1. last season, in the 88 seasons, right-handed hitters hit 183 off Clemens. There's a second strike, outside corner. Oh, nice. So those are posters from all eras and whatever. You got late 30s, early 80s, mid 80s, and then mid 90s. Yeah, I mean, among my favorite posters that I can just name off the top of my head, Pulp Fiction and Jackie Brown, you know, the Tarantino stuff. Here's one outside to Worthington. My favorite was my Fargo poster because it was just a really cool design. It was like this needlepoint stitch thing with the... Here's a line drive by Worthington into left field, and it's down for a hit. The first hit of the season for the 1989 Orioles, and it belongs to third baseman Craig Worthington as he gets a congratulations from first base coach Johnny Oates. What are some of my other... Oh, and also, I would get occasionally the big canvas posters, you know, those really... I didn't have Reservoir Dogs because that was too early. I didn't start working at a movie theater till like 94. Pulp Fiction was one of the first movies that came out when I started. Reservoir Dogs had already been out. Okay, Rene Gonzalez will come up as there's already a check on Worthington. Gonzalez, yeah, he's in there for his glove. Hit $1.25 down in Florida, and he flails at one as we try to... Oh, my goodness, that was ugly. Wow. Worthington attempted to steal on a big breaking ball by Clemens. I mean, if there was a pitch to go on, this ball was low and away, but Marty Barrett absolutely sidearmed a laser to second, and Worthington was out by a mile. Never even actually reached the bag. So that kills any chance of a rally. 2 down, nobody on, and the light-hitting Gonzalez up there now, behind in the count as he fouls this one away. Yeah, I would also get those giant canvas size, or what do you call it? Like the material is much more... It's not like paper. It's really like it's like acrylic or something. But I had one for Magnolia. Yeah, it's like all my favorite directors. I had a Rushmore poster, a Boogie Nights poster. So I had my Wes Anderson posters, my P.T. Anderson posters. I had my Darren Aronofsky poster for Pi. Train Spotting poster, Danny Boyle. Here's a swing and a fly ball to shallow right center, and the right fielder, who is out there? Dwight Evans makes the catch. So the Orioles do get the first base runner on. They get the first hit for either side, but unfortunately he was thrown out trying to steal, and in the end, it's 3 up and 3 retired. So through 3 innings, it's been 9 up, 9 down, not necessarily in order. I did not have a field. That came out in 89. Again, too early. My poster collection started about 94 and ended around 2001, 2002. That's when I was a projectionist. And I could just get my hands on all the posters that I wanted once the movies were done. I mean, if it was a good movie, I had the poster. I'm going to go get myself a little bit of something to relax with here as we return to start the top of the 4th. Boy, I tell you what, I don't know how this is a 4-hour ball game if we're a third of the way through and all we've had was 1 hit. Joe Orsulak. We do have a defensive change. As I suspected, the catch by Finley in right field A fantastic catch it was, but it does come at a cost. He has been removed from the game. Joe Orsolak is now playing in right field in his place. And we are back underway, top of the fourth. A first pitch strike to Wade Boggs, leading it off. And here comes the next offering from Schmidt. Check swing, but it's a called strike two. And now Boggs not happy. Boy, if Wade Boggs is questioning your strike zone, as an umpire, you might actually want to listen. He's got one of the best batting eyes I've ever seen. Up and in the Boggs. He has to turn and back out of the way. Let's see if Schmidt tries to go on the outside edge after working Boggs inside like that. The pitch is actually right out over the heart of the plate, and Boggs lines it into right field, and it's down for a hit. So the Red Sox get their first hit of the season and first base runner. And who better to get that distinction than the man who's in the 3,000 hit club, Wade Boggs. Really a unforgivable pitch location there for Schmidt. And you're lucky to get a guy like Boggs in an 0-2 count. You cannot afford to throw one right over the plate like that. But he did, and Boggs is on with nobody out. Here's Marty Barrett. Schmidt working from the stretch for the first time today, and he gets the outside strike call. I swear, this umpire is working with about a 24-inch plate. And those extra 6 inches are all on the outside. I've seen some close calls on the inside edge, but everything outside is a strike. It's almost comical. Next pitch, this one is inside. It is a ball. And it's 1-1 on Marty Barrett. He takes a look down at the third base coach. Plenty of reason for him, too, in this situation. We got a low-scoring game, a no-scoring game, and a leadoff man on. And as a number 2 hitter, you want to make sure you get this guy at least in the scoring position for the 3-4 hitters do. And look at that. He lays a bunt down. That's exactly what the plan is. But the bunt is not good enough, as Tettleton was able to pounce from out of the catcher's position, pick up the ball, and nail the lead runner at second base. So an attempted sac bunt turns into a wasted out, as Barrett was unable to execute. Tettleton fired a laser to second, and poor execution on the part of the Red Sox there. So Barrett will basically just take Boggs' place at first. Now there's one down, and we get into the heart of this Red Sox order, beginning with Dwight Evans. And a check on the runner, but Barrett is back standing. The next pitch is swung on and pot foul. By the way, let me also give a shout out. There should be a link in the description of my video, but this game is being brought to you by the YouTube channel Trust Your Stuff. Be sure to check out Trust Your Stuff's YouTube channel. Plenty of old school retro baseball games. And I appreciate the ability to comment on one of these games. Here's another check on the runner. This time he has to dive back in, but he does so without a problem. Schmidt from the stretch, and again a quick toss this time. So Schmidt is worried about Barrett here. More of a base-stealing threat than Boggs was. And another throw. Wow. So between the pitch clock and the maximum number of attempts you can throw over to first, we are seeing why a 0-0 game can last 4 hours. Will Schmidt throw to the plate this time? No, it's another throw over. That's 4 in a row. And if this game were being played in Boston right now, you'd be hearing groans in the stands. But, of course, the home team always gets the benefit of the doubt from their fans when it comes to checking on the runner at first. But, okay, Schmidt, it's time to actually throw home this time. Here we go. And another bunt attempt, this time Greenwell looking to lay one down. Instead, he pulls the bat back, and it's a called strike. And now Evans looks a little annoyed with himself after failing to make contact, or he could be just simply giving us that body language because he was given the sign to bunt but really doesn't want to. Let's see if the sign is still on. Instead, it's another check at first. As you see that strange, almost grasshopper-looking leg bend of Dwight Evans at the plate. This ball's in the dirt, but the runner at first does not advance. I'm having a lovely time just taking in some of these crowd shots between pitches and taking note of the fashion sense of the Baltimore public in 1989. Here's a swing and a high pop up to straightaway center. Anderson will make the catch, get it back in. There are 2 down, and Barrett stays at first. That'll bring up Mike Greenwell. Greenwell 0 for 1. He popped up to second base, really shallow right field, but the second baseman Gonzalez probably went a little bit out of his preferred range to make the catch. First pitch to Greenwell is in the dirt, and a nice scoop there by Tettleton to save it from getting away. 1-0. 1-0. I got to learn how to enunciate a little bit better. That's the thing about calling a ball game. I can enunciate for like 20 minutes, and then it just starts to turn into this slurry mess. Here's a high fly ball to left center. It's a long run by Anderson, and on a full sprint, he makes the catch. He's all the way in left field by the time he's done slowing down. Brady Anderson with a 40-yard dash across the outfield to chase that one down and end the inning. We go to the bottom of the 4th. No score. And I'm going to go get my roach. What do you think, Poole? How am I doing? I think I'm born for this shit. I don't know. Maybe I'm delusional. I don't know. I look around these days, it seems like most people are delusional, and it seems like the more delusional you are, the more clout you get. So maybe I'm in the right frame of mind. Maybe I need to be delusional and believe that I can actually do what I'm doing here. All right, I'll be right back. I really need to give RC some lessons on how to tease people. I mean, you can say you're just teasing, but if you come into somebody's YouTube stream and the first 2 teasing comments are, you're actually going to call a 9-inning baseball game, when it's like, yeah, that's sort of the idea of the whole channel. And then the second one being like, where is everybody? You've got nobody watching. What's like? Why would it? No. What's the amusement of that? Like I'm all for teasing, but there has to be some kind of point. No, it's not another Magic situation. I'm fine with RC. I was fine with Magic too. Here's a look at the crowd again. We're ready to go here, bottom of the fourth. Top of the order, due up for the Orioles. They've had one hit up till now, but that was wiped out on a caught stealing. So we're back. Second time through the order, leading off the fourth. Roger Clemens, in his typical style, is breezing through the lineup here. The next pitch to Anderson is upstairs. Well, I guess, it's up to people to kind of realize things before they start saying things. Like, again, I tease people, but I always kind of at least look at the environment, look at the surroundings, like get an idea what's going on before I, low and in, and it's ball four. So the leadoff man who has speed to burn, Brady Anderson, reaches to lead it off here in the bottom of the fourth. The Orioles, let's see if they think about stealing again after a terrible attempt by Worthington. But Brady Anderson's much more inclined to swipe a bag successfully. Here's Phil Bradley. He struck out his first time up. Just as a general rule of thumb, right, Paul? You enter a brand new stream. You don't exactly know what's going on yet, so maybe just don't try and make jokes about how everything stinks or looks pointless or whatever, whatever it is, even if it is teasing. Plus, everybody should have the wherewithal to know, well, how well do I know this person? Because the closer you are to somebody, the more you can tease them, and that other person understands immediately that it's just teasing. But like with RC there, I see RC in chat all the time. Every time I do, I'm not thinking anything negative. I'm just like, good to see RC here, But it's not like we've had any real interaction to where he's, I don't know. It's just, it's just decorum, Decorum is it's a lost art, I'm all about bending rules and, doing stuff outside the norm. But, there still has to be some level of decorum with things. Anyway, I digress. This is what happens. I can't be doing this during the regular season. But today I can. So Phil Bradley's up there. Nobody out. Runner at first, and Clemens checks on him. Anderson dives back in. Shakes some of the dirt from under his belt. Oh, yeah, Paul, and it's been that way since before the internet even existed. But that's sort of why people like that get under my skin. It's not that what they say gets under my skin. It's that that's their mentality, to be that person, to intentionally try to, like, it's not the words that hurt. It's the attempt you're making that annoys me. You know what I mean? There's a difference. There's a very subtle difference. Yeah, when it comes to trolls too, like I'm a lot more lenient with trolls than most people would be, because I get it. When the internet was first a thing back in like the mid 90s, when it started to become like a household item, and I would get on there, I would go into like AOL chat groups and stuff and just troll people before I even knew what the word troll was. Like, I'd go into a room that was called the Harley Davidson chat room, right? And I would just immediately go in and go like, Yeah, I love the Kawasaki's, man. They're the best. All those American bikes suck. Just to watch, 20 people immediately, lose their minds. Because to me, at that age, I thought it was funny. Because what does it matter to me? These are a bunch of anonymous people. They're not even people to me. There's just words on a screen that are making me laugh. So, yeah, I feel like, people of a certain lack of maturity, they do that kind of thing. And again, I'd be a hypocrite if I said, only an idiot would do this or that, because I was that idiot. Maybe not to the degree the average modern day troll is. You had Quantum Mink that because of AOL. What is Quantum Mink? Oh, Quantum Link. Sorry. Again, my vision is terrible. Let me try to get the rest of this call in. It's been a long at-bat here between Phil Bradley, and here goes Anderson. Here comes the throw, and he is safe. Wow. And the shortstop, Jody Reed, flipped the ball away as if to say, oh, we definitely got him out. I'd like to see a replay here. I'm not complaining. I'm happy with the result. Here's the slide by Anderson, and boy, he does look like his leg gets swept before the foot gets in on the bag. This would clearly be an instant replay situation in the modern game. Instead, we get one angle that's not very definitive. But I think Anderson was out. Either way, the Orioles might have caught a break. They've got a runner in scoring position. Here's Joe Orsulak, who took over for Finley in right field after Finley banged up his shoulder, possibly collarbone area, ramming into the wall to make a catch. This has been the Orioles' best chance to get on the board yet. And the pitch from Clemens is in there for a called strike. I love me some Baltimore civilians, man. Look at this crowd. It's all my uncles and aunts and cousins and shit. Here's a foul ball at the plate by Orsulak, who hangs in there. Rex Barney on the PA. Ripken is on deck. One away. Scoreless ball game with a runner in scoring position for the Orioles. Joe Orsulak. And Clemens steps off. We will repeat the process of building up to the next pitch. What's really saddening is I'm looking at a lot of people in the crowd that are basically my age now, and the odds are all those people are dead. And every person with gray hair is long dead. Time sucks. Which is why my Orioles need to win after 40 years of, futility. I mean, in these last 40 years, what have we had in terms of legit, we can make the playoffs and maybe get far? I remember 2 teams in the 90s and maybe one, whatever that team was where Delman Young hit the double against the Tigers. And then last year. So we're talking maybe 5 seasons of the last 40 that were even sniffing success. And in none of those 5 did we even win the pennant, let alone win the series. We got to win the pennant this year. Here's the pitch, and there's a line drive up the middle, base hit. Anderson's coming around, and it's misplayed in center field. Anderson will score easily. It's an RBI either way, and the Orioles take the early lead here on opening day. An RBI single from the defensive replacement The injury replacement, Joe Orsulak, Smokin' Joe O, gets the O's on the board with a bullet off of Clemens right back where it came from. I don't know what Ellis Burks was doing out there in center. And by the way, Ellis Burks, that's the thing with these Red Sox outfielders. They got Burks, they got Evans, and they got Greenwell. I mean, they're all corner outfielders. They hit for power. They're above average major leaguers, but you definitely sacrifice defense when you got Ellis Burks playing center. I mean, he's not a slouch out there. I just think he's better suited as a corner outfielder. All right, so one in, and now a runner at first, still only one away, and the batter Cal Ripken Jr., who looks at a called strike. And I believe that evens up the count at 1-1. I might have missed the first pitch ball there. So that Orsulak RBI, really a microcosm of this 89 season for Baltimore and just how special it was. And what made me sort of tap back into it this past year in 2022, or 23, excuse me, the 2023 team, where it just seemed like even though we didn't have any quote-unquote stud players outside one or two, yes, Poole, that is right. The Orioles did bring back Tyler Nevin. It isn't much of a splash news piece, but it's true. It would appear that he's not going to play a part in our starting opening day roster plans. He's probably going to just be depth in AAA. But, yeah, because we've got a lot of prospects above him already waiting to get called up. Ripken at the plate, and here's a check on the runner. As Orsulak has to dig all of the dirt out of his belt crotch area. One to nothing Orioles here in the bottom of the fourth, as we've finally broken through. And another look, this time Orsulak in standing. This game has slowed down to a screeching halt. Lots of checking on the runner. The next pitch to Ripken is on the outside. He goes for it, and unfortunately is going to hit into one of his record-breaking amount of double play balls. And that's what happens when you try to pull a ball outside. You wind up hitting it on the ground and into a double play. That's precisely what Ripken does. It'll end the inning. But the Orioles get on the board. We have a score to report. It's 1-0. We head to the fifth. As we say goodbye to the 80s. The year we said goodbye to the 80s. Goodbye, 80s. I'm living in the 80s. I'm living in the 80s. Again, just the utter lack of merch that you would typically see. You know? People are, you know. I'm not saying it's, look, I wear my jerseys and stuff and my hats, but like, there's something a little classier about the vast majority of fans in attendance just dressed like they normally would, or dressing up even, you know, in a nice suit or dress or what have you. Swing and a miss as we're underway here in the top of the fifth. It's, what is that, Ellis Burks at the plate? It better be. I don't know anyone else that large. Oh, is that right? And this one is low and in to Burks, 2-1 the count, leading it off here in the top of the fifth. Dave Schmidt has been nothing short of brilliant thus far. This one is swung on a hit on the ground to third. One hop to Worthington, and he'll toss it across the diamond, smooth as silk, for the first out. As the SK out-of-town scoreboard flashes on the bottom of your screen. Yeah, I mean, it's not just a matter of fans being disinterested in wearing it. It's just a cultural thing. I'm sure. Here's a line drive off the glove of a diving Worthington and into shallow right field for a base hit. Worthington laid out for that line drive by Jim Rice, but it came off the webbing of the glove, it appeared, and Rice was able to pretty much jog his way down to first, which is, at this stage of his career, the best way to get to first. Yeah, so, I mean, I remember I was a kid in 1989, and I remember the thing I wanted more than anything was an Orioles jacket, like the dugout jacket or bullpen jacket, whatever you want to call it. This one's inside a Nick Asaski, 0 for 1 with a flyout. I wanted it so bad. I just thought it was so cool because it was all like shiny and like slippery or whatever. I don't know. It was just, they popped with the orange and the black colors and like the orange rings on the shoulders. So I begged my dad that Christmas in '89 for me to get an Orioles jacket, and I got it. I actually got it. It's the best Christmas present I ever got. This pitch to Asaski is low and in. And my dad pulled the okey doke, yeah, with the snap buttons, yeah. And no kid had a jacket like this. And what happened, and it was a starter jacket, if you remember the starter brand. I don't know if they're even around anymore. This one's low and outside, and Asaski draws a walk. A one-out walk for Asaski. That puts the tying run on base for Boston. Or excuse me, 2 men on now. I forgot about that hit by Rice. That pushes the tying run into scoring position. So Schmidt getting into some trouble here. Yeah, so my dad pulled that like trick like out of A Christmas Story, you know, where for me that Orioles jacket was equivalent to the Red Ryder BB gun. And like Christmas came and I went over to his house. I grew up in my mom's house. My parents been divorced since I was an infant. So when I went over to his place, like after having my Christmas morning at my own house, I come in and I'm like, just like, oh God, please, I hope I get the jacket. I hope I get the jacket. And he hands me over like 4 or 5 boxes of presents. Here's a swing and a miss. That pitch just dove straight into the ground. Yeah, and I opened up my presents and I didn't get the jacket. And I was like, I was doing that whole thing of like, yeah, thanks, Dad. I like all this stuff. But I was still just moping. And he's like, son, what is it? What are you moping about? I'm like, oh, nothing, Dad. Yeah. Oh, this is good. I like this. And then next thing I know, he just whips out another present, and it's this big rectangular box, and I'm like, oh my God, I know what it is. I know what it is. I know what it is. I opened the box, and there it was. That Orioles jacket. It was just so shiny. And I wore that thing to school. The next day back to school. It was Christmas break, so probably like 10 days till I went back to school. But man, that thing did not come off for years, probably. That jacket. Anyway, that anecdote pretty much made me lose my complete train of thought. I know we got 2 on. What are we looking at out-wise? I think we got 1 out. And wore it out. It actually kept in pretty good shape, as much as I wore it, because it was a good quality jacket. Like the seaming and everything was a durable jacket. It was made for like weather, any kinds of weather. You can go out in the rain with it, no big deal. Rain would just bounce right off the material. Here's a swing and a high fly ball foul off to the left. All I know is that I think it's Rich Gedman at the plate. I think there's 2 on, and I think there's 1 out. I think. These are all the things I think. It's been a long at bat. The 1-2 pitch, is I heard him say, is low and in, and now it's 2-2. All right, so we're caught up. We got a 2-2 count. On deck is the shortstop, Jody Reed, the number 9 hitter. The 2-2 is swung on and missed. Take a seat, grab some pine, number 9. A big strikeout there from Schmidt. And now it'll be up to Jody Reed to do something with this rally. When you think back about the Orioles 89 team and the pitching staff, I mean, the first name that comes to mind is Jeff Ballard. He had a near Cy Young sort of season. He wasn't a dominating pitcher by any means. He was just very, very effective and wound up winning, I believe, 16 or 17 games. And coming out of nowhere. Of course, he also had Bob Malacky. I don't think Pete Harnish was in this rotation. Maybe he was for a bit. And, of course, Schmidt here. Oh, here's a swing and a hard hit ball to left. It's dropping, but it hangs up enough for Phil Bradley to chase it down, make the catch, and end the inning. We're halfway through this one. The Orioles lead it. It's a pitcher's duel, 1-0. Some big lefty hitters are coming up for the Birds. As we, hey, look, Frank Robinson in a commercial. They say I need surgery. Yeah, that news about Sandberg, obviously, yeah, I mean, I had to deal with the Orioles, Trey Mancini. He had the big C. He had and he's a active major league player that's talented. He had to leave the game, go through all the struggles of fighting that off. All right, bottom of the 5th, and Larry Sheets takes one upstairs to lead things off. He's 0 for 1 with a flyout. The Orioles lead this one 1-0 on opening day. Dave Schmidt out pitching Roger Clemens thus far. Here's a strike on the outside and 1-1. Clemens kicks and deals. This is a high fastball popped up. Gedman goes to have a look, but it's well back out of play. Yes, pull, that is true. That is true. But, not that one wishes cancer on anyone, clearly, but there is certainly a difference between here's a line drive base hit in the right for Sheets to lead it off here in the bottom of the 5th as the Orioles look to add to their 1-0 lead. There's definitely a huge difference between something like prostate cancer that can happen to anyone for any reason, well, any guy for any reason, It doesn't necessarily have to do with poor life choices. Getting like mouth or throat cancer from chewing tobacco, it's a little tougher to have the same level of empathy because you're making a choice. You know, I smoke. I understand if I get the big C and it's because of the smoking. Like no one should be sitting around feeling sorry for me. I made a bad choice. Prostate cancer though, what are you gonna do? Other than have your finger up your butt every year and hope for the best. Does that clear up my cancer talk? It's cancer talk on opening day. All right. Hey, we got a bunt situation from Tettleton, and he pulls the bat back. I love it when a player who clearly is not looking to bunt for any reason. Third base coach will tell him to bunt. They'll give it a half-hearted try on the first attempt. Take a strike. They'd rather take a strike than have to bunt, is what it comes down to. This one's a bit inside. And again, Poole, I want you to admire just the body language of Mickey Tettleton when he's hitting at the plate. Just he's like a coiled snake that's just slow and then he just unleashes. If he gets a pitch to hit, you know? Like even when he steps back out of the box, usually guys are taking big cut swings and like just jerking their body around, trying to loosen up. Everything with him is very stoic. What do you mean, resize my camera stream? What's wrong with it? Oh, how long has it been like that, dude? Oh my God. Has it been like that for the whole stream? Oh my God. Yeah, you're telling me this now. How long has it been like that, dude? Oh my God. Good God Almighty. How long has it been like that, man? Oh, for the poster, right. God, man. God. This is why I suck, man. You didn't think to tell me, like, in the last 30 minutes or whatever it's been? I mean, you told me many times. What? There it is, poster time. Dude, how have you... Oh, need to resize your body image to be small and corner. Okay. All right, you told me a second time just now, Poole. Let's not exaggerate. You told me once. I didn't see it. I never addressed it. And then only in the last 3 comments or whatever has it been brought back up. But you're telling me several times. Or many. Ah, shit, man. I'm not blaming you, dude. Ultimately, it's completely my fault. I gotta always check that sort of thing. Completely my fault. I'm not blaming you. Yeah, I know. That was a big test. That's my Poole. Just look, you're a loyal follower of my stuff, man, and I appreciate it. Please have my back, dude. If a situation like that happens again, all caps, dude, resize your image or something. I don't know. Like scream it at me. I promise you, that is top priority to anything else. If I've screwed up something that bad and I haven't noticed, not that you're entitled to, or not that you're obligated, I should say, to have to be responsible to tell me anything. It's up to you, but if you don't mind, please scream that at me next time. High pop up toward the what do you call it? The tarp out there on the left side of the stands, and it's a foul pop out. The Orioles have 2 men on, and I've lost. Yeah, the connection looks good. This is probably actually the worst stream I've done so far, despite everything going off without a hitch. As in terms of, I had to interrupt things and go downstairs. I had the stupid my face was too big thing happen. All right, Worthington's in there with 2 on, probably 2 out at this point. Where do I want it? Oh, yeah, I want it like right there. Because, yeah, ever since my very first stream, random people would pop in to just see what was going on. And I ain't getting that at all. I ain't getting no randos. No randos. No randos, man. All right, 1-1 the count on Worthington. The Orioles trying to add to their 1-0 lead. 2 men on. The pitch. Popped foul behind the plate. I need a smoke. Speaking of the big C, I need a smoke. Get one between the next inning. Ugh. Woo. Here's a hard hit ball to right. Backing up is Evans. Now he turns the opposite way, but he makes the catch on the edge of the track, gets it in quickly. Runner didn't tag and go to third, and the crowd is booing. As the base running there by the Orioles was not one to appreciate. I'm assuming the lead runner at second was too far off the bag, believing that ball to be an extra base hit. He should have been tagging up, because even if that ball falls in, you've got time to score, even if you're 180 feet away. That was bad base running. There should be a runner on third base right now. And now you got to try and do something with Rene Gonzalez. Easily the worst hitter in the lineup. It's not even close. All right, Gonzalez. Maybe you'll surprise us. It's opening day. Weird things happen on opening day. Look at that location. That's a pitch, even though it's a strike, you don't even want to try to do anything with. Just absolute hard cheese on the outside edge at the bottom of the strike zone. The 0-1 is same location, same result, 0-2. I don't know what kind of sign Gonzalez is looking for with an 0-2 count. The strategy here is to not strike out, make contact, hope for something to happen. This one's well off the plate as Gedman set up about a foot off the plate, and the ball wound up about another foot farther than that. I mean, talk about a waste pitch. The 1-2 to Gonzalez is a breaking ball tapped in front of the mound, and Clemens will flip it over to first to end the inning. So the Red Sox escape a jam, but the Orioles didn't do any favors themselves with some of their executions, trying to move some runners around. We go to the 6th inning. Why am I looking at Nazis walking into, what is this? What kind of commercial had Nazis walking around? I mean, this is okay, I guess they're supposed to be Russian with those hats. I don't know. Whatever. It's a clear nod to like Nazi Germany. What the fuck kind of commercial is this? I don't know. Wow, look at the Everly Brothers still with bad wigs. Oh, there's somebody's limo. Let's see, it's 1989. Who would have a limo outside the Oriole game? MC Hammer? I'm thinking. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we got a few celebs in attendance. Of course, the president threw out the first pitch. All right. That one limo wasn't Bush. No, that's not a U.S. presidential. First, you'd have those flags sitting on the corners of the. That was another limo. I think they had a shot of Joe DiMaggio or somebody up there. No, why would DiMaggio be at a Red Sox game? It wasn't DiMaggio. Some other dignitary, some other guy. Anyway, top of the 6th, Wade Boggs, and he's got a lot of chew in his cheek. Boy, he looks like a chipmunk up there right now. Takes a look at one low and outside. Wade Boggs seemed to come up to lead off an inning like 80% of the time during his career. This is the 3rd time he's led off an inning in this one. Just the prototype leadoff hitter with a lot of chew in his cheek. Schmidt's next offering is a breaking ball that didn't really break right. It was up and away, easy to take for Boggs. And now a swing and a line drive down into the corner. It'll get down for extra bases. Or at least maybe. Here comes the throw. And Boggs is in there safely. Wade Boggs hustling all the way. That ball was roped down into the right field corner. It was played perfectly off the bounce by Orsolak. He fired it back in. But it would have taken a strike right on the bag to get Boggs. I'm listening to Brooks Robinson describe that play exactly the way I just did. So I'm feeling pretty good about myself right now. I just listened to the Earl of Baltimore. Well, that's Earl Weaver. Whatever. The pride of Baltimore, Brooks Robinson. All right, so the Red Sox clearly have to, they're going to play small ball and get that runner to third. They do it successfully. So Boggs is at third base as Barrett lays down the sacrifice. And with one out and the tying run at third, here comes the number 3 man, Dwight Evans. Big spot in the ball game for the Red Sox to at least tie this game up and score their first run of the season. And a big first pitch swing and a miss there by Dewey on a breaking ball on the outer edge. I mean, he's lucky to have not made contact. He wouldn't have been able to do anything with that pitch. It's 0-1. Schmidt's next pitch. Swung on, grounded. Third base side. Worthington lays out, and it's a fair ball. It'll carry him off the edge of the stands that jut out toward the line. And it doesn't go all the way down into the corner. But it's still a double, an RBI double for Dwight Evans, who ties this ball game up. It's 1-1. Evans did well to stay back on that pitch and then follow through and lace it down the left field line. So we're knotted up at 1 here in the top of the 6th. We'll see if that gets any activity going in the Oriole bullpen. First pitch swinging here. We got a high fly ball to right field. Backing up is Orsulak. He's looking, and this ball is gone. And just like that, the Red Sox storm ahead. In a blink of an eye, the Red Sox have gone from losing to tying to now winning in this one. Mike Greenwell drilling a 2-run homer, and the Red Sox are suddenly ahead 3-1. And the first pitch swing here is hit well to left field this time, but right in the path of Phil Bradley, who makes the catch. That ball was tagged, and I would hope that the bullpen is up now. Schmidt's stuff is suddenly getting hit really hard. That's at least the third completely crushed ball of the inning, and he's lucky to get an out on that one. Oh, nice. Maybe that's what inspired Tettleton to have such a magical season in '89. Paul, you want to see something interesting? You should Google Mickey Tettleton and Fruit Loops. He made it known in an early interview during the season when he got off to a hot start at the plate that, like, what was the secret to his success? And he's like, I like to eat Fruit Loops. Next thing you know, people were bringing banners and signs to the games, holding up boxes of Fruit Loops. Here's a swing and a high pop-up by Rice. Third base side in the foul ground. Worthington makes the catch. And the Orioles get out of the inning, but it comes at a huge cost. The Red Sox put up 3 and are now leading this one as we head to the bottom of the 6th, 3-1. I'm going to go get a smoke. We're losing now. I need a smoke. So everything looking cool on the stream thing. I'm gonna actually check real quick here. Let's see. Whoa, 78. That's 79. That's high. All right, I cannot afford to do more than I'm doing right here. Though, to be fair, when I'm doing regular games, I'm not watching video. Well, no, I will be watching video. You won't. Actually, that's true. Okay, so it is the same. Hey, it's Alex Trebek when he still had the mustache. You know, I really think America peaked when Trebek got rid of the mustache. I think that's where we all went wrong, which is sort of ironic because I think he's Canadian. And we take a look at the parking lot here and a look at the booth. There is Brooksy on the left. Brooks Robinson, who passed away, unfortunately. There's Jim Palmer on the opposite side. Two legends of the game. Just career Baltimore Orioles. They had Hall of Fame careers, and they stuck around. Yahoo play-by-play might not need as much memory. Yeah, but see, I'm going to have a play-by-play screen on for you guys, but I'm also going to be watching the game basically in the same window that my webcam is taking up, but I'll cover, I'll have the webcam laid over that, but I'm looking on my computer at the game, which is going to suck because for me it's going to be pretty small. It's like watching the game on a phone, pretty much. It's going to be like the size of looking at it on your phone, but it's the only way I can do it with one computer. Otherwise, I got to buy another computer. If things start to work, I'll probably invest in another computer just so I can have one to watch the game on separately. Anyway, we're back underway here. We go to the bottom of the sixth. The Orioles are down 2, and Brady Anderson is in there to lead things off. He reached base via a walk and came around to score the lone Oriole run. Here's a line drive foul off to the right and bouncing off the tarp down there. The ball girl with some of the most teased feathered hair you'll see at any stage of the 80s. It might have even been crimped. Might have been some crimping going on. Here's the next pitch to Brady as Clemens is still dealing out there. And a high fly ball to right center field. This one's hit well, and it's going to get down. Extra bases for Anderson. He'll glide into second standing. A leadoff double, and the Orioles are looking to respond. As Brady Anderson with a leadoff double into the gap in right field. Anytime Brady hits one into the right center field alleyway, you hope maybe there's a chance for a triple, but it was fielded relatively cleanly. Plus, it was hit so hard. It wasn't a long run and long relay throw back into the infield. So just the two-bagger for Brady, though, but it's leading off the inning. So now the Orioles have to think about some of the fundamentals here. Yeah, they're down 2, but they want to make sure they at least respond with one run. They got to make sure Brady gets to third with this at-bat from Bradley. Actually, I've got this hanging over on this side. That should be like that. Okay. The pitch to Bradley is swung on and missed. Bradley, unfortunately, has struck out twice today already, so he has not looked good at the plate against Clemens, and this is the time we need him to do something. Considering his troubles at the plate in the first 2 times, I might have thought about laying a bunt down here, even though you're down 2, because it's still only the 6th. You want to make sure you come away with something here. You just want this at bat from Bradley to be productive in some way. But if he's already struck out twice, and now he's down with 2 strikes here, let's see what he can do. He's a professional hitter. Maybe he can do something. He takes, and it's a good take. A little bit high, a little bit outside maybe. Anderson takes his lead from second, and Clemens dekes a throw, but holds on to the ball. Anderson walks back to the bag. Clemens already back in the stretch, and here's the pitch, and it's high for ball 4. Just a little bit high, apparently. It looked like it was about belt level, but too high in the opinion of the umpire, who I'm going to give a grade so far today of about a C minus to a D. And it's not been a very consistent strike zone. I feel like that pitch has been called a strike today. You know, if you're going to say this is a strike and this isn't a strike, that's fine, but you got to be consistent. You can't say this is a strike and then later this is now not a strike. Anyway, here's a first pitch to Orsolak, who jumps out of the way. Orsolak has the RBI, the lone RBI so far for the Birds. Again, coming in to replace Steve Finley, who had to leave with an injury. This is Orsolak's second at bat. Crowd, and now Orsolak's showing bunt, but he pops it up, straight up into the air, but luckily it gets far back enough out of play. The bunting attempts from both teams today, save for the one bunt by Marty Barrett that got Boggs to third. The other 4 or 5 bunt attempts I've seen have all been futile. Let's see what happens here. Again, Orsolak looking, but he pulls the bat back, takes a ball outside. What I don't understand is why Orsolak is looking to bunt in this situation, but Bradley wasn't. I mean, I get it. It's now the tying runs on instead of just the lone run, but Bradley did get on. And it just shows why I'm not a major league manager. The 2-1 pitch to Orsolak is swung on and hit over to first. Osaski was looking to maybe start a double play. He thinks better of it and just goes to first to get the out there. So both runners are able to move up. And now the Orioles have the tying runs in scoring position. And no better hitter you'd probably want up right now than that of Cal Ripken Jr. The beauty here is that Cal cannot hit into a double play with runners at second and third. At least not a conventional one anyway. This 89 season, by the way, if you're thinking about Ripken's streak and how he broke Garrett's record, this was about halfway into that record-breaking run. Larry Sheets is on deck. Clemens from the stretch. Ripken waiting. The pitch is a little bit high, apparently. Suddenly, again, I don't know. I feel like both Schmidt and Clemens haven't really lost much, but they're missing pitches that were called strikes earlier in the game. I'm not complaining right now. The Orioles need a little bit of help. The 2-0 to Ripken is in there for a strike. Two balls and a strike. As we get a look at, almost get a look at Frank Robinson. Standing up, arms folded in the dugout. The 2-1 is upstairs and fouled off. Ripken went after a high pitch. And give that fan a contract. Yeah, as you can see, was it 21-31 is the Gehrig streak, and they just flashed up what number it is starting this game, 1,089. Just like I said, almost exactly the halfway mark, just a little bit past. The pitch is reached for and fouled away. Fought off by Ripken. That was a tough pitch. Ripken did what he could with it. Stays alive. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Anderson at third. Bradley at second. The Orioles down 2. The pitch is swung on and fouled away. So we've got a battle working here between a couple of legends. I would say a couple of Hall of Famers. Unfortunately, one of the 2 people involved in this matchup did a lot of steroids. The other one didn't. We got another 2-2 pitch coming to Ripken. Swung on. Hit into left field and deep. Racing back is Greenwell. He looks up. That ball is gone. It's a 3-run bomb from Mr. Oriole, Cal Ripken Jr. And the Birds take the lead back in fantastic style. Ripken dials one up, takes a Clemens fastball and parks it left field. And the crowd is going bonkers here on opening day. The high heat, probably an inch or 2 above the belt, and Ripken turned on it. That's what Hall of Famers do. They hit in clutch situations off of good Hall of Fame caliber players. It's 4-3 Orioles here in the bottom of the 6th. Just like that, this game has turned back around. You gotta love it. Here's Sheets. Swing and a ground ball to first. Asaski will flip it to Clemens, who covers the bag, and Sheets is retired, 2 away. But the electricity here in the ballpark remains. Buzzing after that Ripken home run. That ball was tagged. Here's Tettleton now. As we have double barrel action in the bullpen, a lefty and a righty getting up for the Red Sox. Every inning was long back then, Poole. Tettleton fouls this one away. It's 0-1 on the catcher. Clemens' next offering is in there, outside corner for a called strike. Tettleton in the hole, 0-2. Clemens with a high fastball that gets away. And it's a ball and 2 strikes. Cal Ripken Jr. Boy, how many times in his career has he come in with a clutch? Yes, it was. This is an all-star season as Tettleton hits it on the ground to second. It's picked cleanly, and Tettleton is retired. But the Orioles get the crowd on their feet as Ripken, again, just a high fastball. Just, you love to see somebody connect on a high Clemens fastball like that. Ripken just had to be looking for it. He had to be dialed up. He said, I'm going to look for that high gas, and I'm going to get the jump. And he did. Wow. All right, so this lady is wearing the Orioles jersey from the previous season. And as you can see, they're much better. Oh, there's Spuds McKenzie. Hey, Spuds. You're a player, dude. I know it. I know you're a player, Spuds. Was that Brad Pitt in his first acting role? Oh, is that William? Oh, no. I'm the comptroller. Hi, I've been around since the 1800s. All right, we're back at the ballpark. And we're going to head into the late innings now. Top of the 7th we go. Orioles lead this one 4-3. As the Ripken fan club is out. Cal Ripken Jr., big 3-run homer in the bottom of the 6th. First pitch here in the 7th is a called strike outside corner to, is that Nick Asaski? Next pitch is swung on and hit well. Left field, it's going to get down and bounce, a big bounce. Wait a minute, we got a throw coming in. He is safe. Oh, my. That ball was played well out there and left by Bradley. He got it back into second. It looked all the way it was going to be a close play. The ball was hit so hard. Asaski took a large bounce off the wall, but Bradley was able to field it cleanly. He gets it into second. Gonzalez gets the ball down with the glove, but didn't really tag any part of Asaski's body. It does have to be said. It looks like Gonzalez just sort of left his glove out there, hoping some part of Asaski would touch it, but it didn't. So it looked like the correct call. Asaski is safe, and now the Red Sox, after what was a pitcher's duel for the first half of this ball game, the offense on both sides starting to pick up the slack. Red Sox now have a runner in scoring position, the tying run. I am. And here's a swinging bunt, an effective out here. This will move Asaski to third. Tying run at third now with only one out. Orioles bullpen has action. We have a lefty up. Looks like Kevin Hickey. As Jody Reed will get set to step in for the Red Sox. Exciting ball game here on opening day. We've seen some good pitching. We've seen a home run from both sides. And the first pitch to Reed is inside. Reed is 0 for 2 today. This is a big spot for him, though. Only one away and a tying run 90 feet away. The pitch. Swung on, up the middle, base hit, and this ball game is tied, just like that. Reed takes it right back up the middle and gets the RBI single as Asaski trots in to score. And that's going to do it for the starter, Dave Schmidt. Frank Robinson making the walk out to the mound and looking in the direction of the bullpen. Looks like he touched his left arm, which would mean we'll see Kevin Hickey, which would make sense as the top of the order, and Wade Boggs is set to come up next. So Schmidt's day is over. He got off to a fantastic start. Unfortunately, he leaves without a chance to win this one. He can only lose. As I skip through some of these ads. Oh my God. That was cringe. Looks like an overcast day. Not too many leaves on the... Are you sure this looks like a warm day to you, Pool? It doesn't look that warm in that shot. That shot looked like about maybe mid-50s at best. So here's Hickey now, the lefty reliever. He's in there to get Boggs. And maybe possibly will stay in to face Greenwell, who would be the fourth batter. People aren't in coats. Well, you got to understand the Baltimore mentality. 55 degrees ain't coat weather in Baltimore. You don't see too many short sleeve shirts either, though. You know what I'm saying? We've got some kind of delay happening here. I don't know why we're staring at all the coaches in the Oriole dugout right now. I guess Hickey is, there's Cal Sr. doffing his cap to somebody. I'm not sure what he's doing there. Maybe he's telling one of the outfielders where to go stand. I don't think so. I can hear a little bit of the broadcast. They didn't make any mention of a fan on the field. Here comes Wade Boggs, who looks to have doubled up on his chewing tobacco. His cheek is nearly popping out of his face at this point. He wiggles the bat, and the first pitch from Hickey, look, he tries to drag bunt. Instead, it's fouled and goes behind the plate. No? Wait, what are they saying? He didn't make contact and Tettleton completely missed the ball? That'll let Jody Reed advance to second base? Well, that was a disaster. Yep, they're saying right now that it looks like the pitcher and catcher were crossed up on the signs. Tettleton was expecting a completely different pitch. So the ball completely missed everything and went all the way to the backstop. So now Boggs doesn't necessarily have to lay a bunt down. He could think about swinging away. It is lefty on lefty, but Boggs can hit anybody. Here comes the pitch, and he is swinging away. He takes inside. Tying run at second base. Nobody out here in the top of the seventh. 4-3 Orioles. Hickey checks the runner at second. The pitch. Lined into shortstop, backhanded by Ripken. He goes to first in time. What a play there by the shortstop, Cal Ripken Jr. Doing it with the bat, now doing it with the glove. He had to range to his right, backhand the ball, and throw across his body. And I guess that's going to do it. Hickey was in there to be a specialty pitcher. He was in there to get Boggs and Boggs alone. A couple of righties due up, and then you have the lefty Greenwell. I thought maybe if Hickey were effective, you try to keep him in there and get Greenwell. 2 of 4 hitters from the left side, but instead, Robinson's going to go to the righty. Not sure who that is. We'll see in a second. As we look at a bunch of commercials that they just played. All right, we're back, and it is a right-hander out there, number 51. I have to admit, I can't. It looks like, is it Brian Holton? Yes, it is Holton. It's been a long time since I've seen this dude pitch. Brian Holton is on the mound. Career 13-9 record in the National League with a healthy 3.12 ERA and a few saves. As you look at the different, these are 2 shortstops, folks. These are 2 shortstops for their respective clubs. Look at the size difference between Cal and Jody Reed over here. Are you kidding me? The fans in the background are turned around looking at something. I'm not sure what. All right. So Robinson is playing his cards. He brought in Hickey to get one man out. Yeah, Pedroia. Yeah, he's about Pedroia size, Altuve size. Swing and a miss. So Marty Barrett, 0 for 2 with a sac bunt. The pitch, up and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. 4-3 Orioles, top of the 7th. The Red Sox have the tying run at second, 1 away. Brian Holton in the pitch. Third Oriole pitcher of the day. Dangles his right arm in front of him as he leans in for the sign. Now here's the pitch, a big curveball that's fouled back. Back into the stands for a souvenir as we get a look at a few men with varying degrees of male pattern baldness. Reed at second, 1 away, Barrett at the plate. Important out to get here with Dwight Evans on deck. 1-2 the count. The pitch. Another curveball, and this one's fought off foul. Barrett a little bit out in front. Pulls it, hooking it into the left field lower section. Holton goes through his ritual of getting ready for the next sign. That arm dangling. And the 1-2 again is outside, maybe low as well. Barrett able to lay off that one. I can't wait for this 2020. I can't wait to do modern games. God damn. The time between pitches and like having to fill it in with some sort of descriptive. Good Lord. As the batter steps out and the pitcher steps off, and we'll do it again. And here we go. For God's sakes. The pitch from Holton, another curveball, and this one is inside, high. It was pretty wild looking. That runs the count full. So we've got everything maxed out in this long inning. Full count. 2 down. Tying run at second. Barrett at the plate. Dude, Orioles, Yankees, Orioles, Red Sox, same too. The Orioles were just as guilty. In fact, I remember reading a stat before the pitch clock and all that Orioles, Yankees was the highest average, like, length game. If not, like, I don't know. I don't know what the range of, like, since a certain year or what it was, but it was ridiculous. It was like 3 hours and 24 minutes on average, which means like for every game that would be like 2 hours and here's a line drive. Worthington stabs it, goes to first in time. Oh, ring that one up. There is a diamond play right there. Craig Worthington playing that hot corner. I'm sure Brooks Robinson is happy to see that. He picks it to his right. Gets up and throws a seed across the diamond to end this inning. Did I say it was 4-3? It's a 4-4 ball game. I don't know what I'm doing. I'll figure it out. That's the other thing. When I'm watching the game modern, there's always going to be a scoreboard all the time in front of me. I'll always know what the pitch count is. This is a lot harder. So this is sort of like learning baseball with a extra small glove on purpose. They always say, when you want to field, learn how to field as a baseball player, get yourself the smallest glove. And that way, once you can figure out how to field okay with that, you get a little bigger glove, and then suddenly it's a piece of cake. Call it a life hack. Oh, yeah, the slow walk to the mound. I don't think that's ever going away. There's always going to be a few tricks. Pull that's completely... there's no way for me to know that. I mean, I'd have to be lucky. Let's put it that way. I don't know how to... I wish I could figure out a way. I do know this, that whatever app I'm using is likely going to be ahead of me. So if I can just figure out a way to slow a website down... I don't know if it's possible to even do that. I don't know. Take a look at this crowd, though. There are people all the way to the tippy top, all the way around the park. And we've got a good one here. 4-4 on opening day. And there's Worthington with that throw to first. Plenty of time. And so it's going to be trial and error with that pull in terms of trying to find some sort of visual aid that isn't way off in the timing of my play calling. I mean, these other streamers that I follow, they're not synced up. I see it all the time. There'll be a touchdown. I see it on their scoreboard. And then they call it like 20 seconds later. And it's like, yeah, we saw it on the board. But what are you going to do? All I can hope for is that I call a good enough game where people look past that and say, you know what? I like listening to this guy call a game. I don't mind there being a little bit of a non-sync with the scoreboard. Here's a pitch to Traber. Check swing. They check the third base ump. And judging by his lack of movement whatsoever, I'll say it's no swing. The pitch is line drive into left field, a base hit. Right in the hole between short and third. And Traber is on. And now the Red Sox are going to start playing matchups as it would appear. We've got the manager coming out, Clemens. This is going to be more of a conversation. This was back in the day when if your ace pitcher was in a situation like this, the manager would basically come out and go, look, I'm ready to take you out, but it's your call. You still got anything left in the tank? And a guy like Clemens would go, yeah. I want to finish this inning. I got the stuff to do it. I want to still win this game. So, yeah, Clemens says, I'm good to go. And we got a bunt attempt. But it winds up being just a ball, I believe. We got a bird's eye view of that pitch. So I couldn't really tell you what happened there. Long look down at third base by Worthington to get the sign. Traber at first. The pitch. Line back behind into the crowd. Clemens' next offering is a well-placed fastball, and Clemens is not. I thought that was going to be called a strike. That is the outside corner that this pull. Have you been watching this game with me? That umpire was calling that a strike all day, at least through the first 5 innings or so. Suddenly it's not a strike. Okay. Here's a foul ball back behind into the crowd. Oh, we don't need silly games like that. This is a game. We don't need a game for a game. We need a game for home shopping because it's ridiculous. The next pitch to Worthington is outside and low. Gedman had to keep that ball from getting past him. And another long look down to the third base coach, Cal Ripken Sr., for a sign. Worthington steps out, steps in, steps back out, steps back in. Clemens has the sign. He's from the stretch. The pitch. Swung on. Grounded to short. Double play ball. And they turn it. 5-4-3. The Red Sox turn a tailor-made double play ball. And that kills the Oriole rally. 2 down and nobody on. And that'll bring up the number 9 man, Rene Gonzalez. Gonzalez is probably 0 for 2, I'm going to guess. The pitch upstairs, he lays off. Two down, nobody on, tie ball game here in the bottom of the 7th. Opening day, 1989, Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. Clemens still out there on the mound. The pitch is grounded to the left side, and the shortstop makes the play, a long throw. Got him. So Clemens says, I want to keep going, and he went, and he did it. He got through the 7th inning. And this game remains tied as we take a look at some more limos parked out in the parking lot. They can't all be for the president. Who was that? Discount Phoebe Cates in this commercial. All right. It's, what do we call it? Are we going to the 8th here? I guess we are. Dwight Evans will lead it off for Boston here in the top of the 8th. Tie ball game, 4 apiece. Holton still out on the mound, and a breaking ball drops in there for a called strike. Holton's next offering is a little bit inside. One and one the count. And the next pitch is in there. Low, but in there for a called strike. 1-2 on the leadoff man, Dwight Evans, here in the top of the 8th. Curveball swung on and drilled, but foul. Evans needed to wait back on that a split second in order to keep it fair. He had the distance to do some serious damage, but he got out in front of that pitch. Here's the next one, and it's in the dirt. Two and two the count. Mike Greenwell on deck. Holton comes with it, and it's a breaking ball that Evans chased, but it went into the dirt. Tettleton will have to complete the out at first, and he does so. So good job by Tettleton there. That was not a routine throw to first to get the strikeout. Ball took a big bounce. Went about 10 feet in the air. Tettleton grabbed it off the ground and completed the out. So here's Greenwell now, one away. Holton still in there to face this left-handed bat. And the pitch is in the dirt. Greenwell had the big home run for Boston back in the 6th, the 2-run shot. Orioles responded in the bottom half of the inning with a 3-run homer from Cal Ripken Jr. The pitch is a curveball, swung on and drilled into right field for a base hit. So Greenwell did well to barrel that one up. He timed it, pulled it straight into right field. That's how you hit that breaking ball right there. Even though it was on the outer half of the plate, Greenwell was able to lean over and still rope it and pull it into right field. Here's Ellis Burks, and he takes one low. Getting word that Jeff Ballard, the lefty who would go on to lead the team in wins as a starting pitcher, he's actually getting loose as a reliever here on opening day. So his role had yet to be defined at this point of what would turn out to be by far the best season of his professional career. The pitch from Holton is on the outside edge for a called strike. So suddenly that pitch is a strike again. I don't know. My vision is starting to go. Maybe I would call a worse ball and strike zone than an umpire does. Go ahead runs at first with one down. The pitch is... It's a check swing. Wow. Okay. A lot to unpack here. Burks pulled the bat around as if to bunt. The ball was high. The pitch, got past the batter. Meanwhile, Greenwell took off for second. Tettleton pops up, tries to get him, but Greenwell makes it in safely with a stolen base. So now the go-ahead runs in scoring position, with the dangerous Burks still up there at the plate. The pitch is a curveball hit on the ground. Worthington picks it clean, goes to first after checking the runner, and retires Burks. So 2 away now. And the Orioles trying to get out of the jam, keep this ball game tied. And that'll bring up Jim Rice. Rice had a single in the 5th. Takes a couple practice cuts. Takes about 4 or 5 practice cuts. And the first pitch from Holton is low for ball 1. Two down here in the 8th in a tie ball game. The 1-0 to Rice is a curveball that's popped up. Rice got under it. It's going to hang up there long enough for Bradley to camp under it and make the catch. That's going to end the inning. So the Red Sox get a runner in scoring position but can't cash in. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. We're tied up at 4. Top of the order due up for the Orioles. And I'm out of beverage. So, Paul, come on. How about some feedback? How do I call a game? Do I sound like I know what the hell I'm talking about? Am I boring the ever-living shit out of you? What's the deal? McDonald's game. I was asking you for feedback about my streaming skills for calling a baseball game, and what kind of answer is this? I don't know what you mean. That'll make everything better in about half an hour. All right, let's skip on ahead. It's good, but remember the games will be shorter so people won't have short attentions. Yeah, I mean, either you're a baseball fan or you're not. Typically, baseball fans have, don't have short attention spans. You need to kind of relax, chill, and let the leisure of the game unfold. But it's still be active enough to understand when those critical moments come. I don't know. To me, baseball is just the most beautiful thing ever created, sports or otherwise. It's perfect to me. I don't know. There's a reason why baseball movies have some sort of mystical quality about them. That whole Field of Dreams thing. I don't know. I could sit here and wax poetry, but do I need to? Because it's probably going to sound corny. It's just a beautiful game. I don't know what it is. And some people out there just can't stand baseball, and they're usually the kind of people that don't have a very long attention span. Hey, Paul, it is for me too, man. I was very lucky to have John Miller calling Orioles games on the radio. He was the play-by-play guy on the radio for this season. I think it was play-by-play from like 87 to like 96. And then that's when he went out to San Francisco. Anyway, here's Brady Anderson. We're starting the bottom of the eighth in a tie ball game. We've got the top of the order up, and here's a pitch above his head. And that gets a Bronx cheer from the crowd, as Clemens is still out there. No idea what the pitch count is, but of course that wasn't really a factor. It was a factor at this stage in history. Actually, I believe 89 was the first year. It was either 89 or 90 was the first year of Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. But he was still doing Oriole games the other 6 days of the week. He would do Baltimore games 6 days a week, and wherever the Sunday night game was, he would fly out there, like on Saturday night or whatever, do that game, and then rejoin the Orioles. He was doing that for years. And then started doing it with the Giants. Yep, Joe Morgan. Here's the next pitch to Anderson, and outside edge, called strike. So a big spot here for the Orioles to try and get ahead of this ball game. It's the bottom of the eighth. If they can score, they can try and close it out in the ninth. Here's a line drive into right field. It's going to get down for extra bases. Anderson is on his horse, and it might be 3 bases this time. Oh, he's going to stay at second. A little bit of trouble digging it out of the corner there from Evans. But Brady will settle for a double, his second of the ball game, hitting it pretty much exactly in the same spot he did the last time. It was sort of a hanging slider there by Clemens, allowing Anderson the time to get around on it and whip it down the right field line. And that is probably going to spell the end of the day for Clemens. and it looks like Clemens is still trying to talk his way into staying in the game. This is such a different era of baseball. I mean, you can clearly see Clemens making the argument to stay in the ball game here. In the modern game, between pitch count and situation, he'd be coming out without any argument. We are getting a reliever, though, and is that Lee Smith? That can't be Lee Smith. Is it Lee Smith? Nah, it can't be Lee. It is Lee Smith, another Hall of Famer. One of the two original closers to make the Hall of Fame, right? Along with, is it Raleigh Fingers? That's one of those stats that I really have zero idea of where things stand now, like save leaders, because by 1990 there were only a handful of guys out there who were like true closers for like a full career, Lee Smith being one of them. Smith actually pitched 3 saves against the Birds in the previous season. He's coming in here in a non-save situation, and it's only the 8th inning, so I'm assuming he's not the closer for Boston. But he is out there now trying to keep this game a tie ball game. Here comes Phil Bradley, 0 for 2, but he did walk his last time up. He came around to score along with Anderson on that Cal Ripken 3-run homer. Lee Smith. There's a lot of pitchers in the modern game that you could say are about Smith's size, but boy, he still looks huge out there. Intimidating pitcher. Here's a first pitch fastball that apparently was a little high or maybe a little bit inside. Want to know the count on Bradley. I'm starting to realize how much he reminds me of Felix Bautista for the Orioles now. The pitch is a foul ball. A lot of zip on that fastball. 1-1 the count on Bradley. Tie ball game in the bottom of the 8th. Opening day. 2 teams without a record yet. Go-ahead run is on at second base. And the 1-1 to Bradley is coming. Just a bit low, maybe outside. And Lee Smith joins the list of players today who are not happy with this umpire's strike zone. Pool, can I get confirmation on that? Is it me or is this umpire's strike zone a bunch of horse shit? I've seen so many pitches at the same spot get called a ball and then a strike or vice versa. Here's a foul ball off. I mean, early on, he was given 3 inches off the outside edge. Easily. And that pitch from Smith a couple of pitches ago was more of a strike than anything that was being called earlier. Not so much the inside. It's really the outside. He was giving up a lot on the outside. But not anymore. Or maybe he will again. I don't know. The pitch is over the plate. Bradley grounds it on the second base side, and he'll be tossed out. Anderson will move up to third base, but there's 2 away. Wait, no. I'm sorry. That is a runner at third with only 1 out, isn't it? I apologize. I'm not doing a good job. So Bradley does get an effective out, considering the situation. In a tie ball game, go-ahead run, now at third base with only 1 away. Joe Orsulak will step in. 1 for 2 with an RBI single. Now has the chance to drive in what could be the winning run without the benefit of a hit. A fly ball can do it. The pitch from Schmidt is taken for a called strike. Oh and 1 on Orsulak. And he calls for time. Go ahead run at third base, only one away. And a huge spot in the ball game. Smith from the stretch. The pitch. Outside. Just a bit outside. Orsulak leaning over the plate. Trying to help his argument that it was indeed outside. We take a look at the outfield and how they're positioned pretty much straight away. Yeah, straight away left to right. Pitch is a called strike on the outside, and that was 2 inches off the plate. Are you kidding me? Pick a zone, ump. Pick a zone. Pull. Did you see that pitch? You got to be kidding me, man. Again, I don't mind if that's a strike in this umpire's view, but my God, keep it consistent. Now this one is indeed outside. And the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. I mean, this umpire is trash. I mean, he might as well just flip a coin if it's anything near the border, whether it's a ball or a strike. Because so far, if he just guessed and it's a strikeout, Smith gets Orsulak with the gas, outside edge on the higher end of the zone. Orsulak strikes out in a huge spot. Smith gets exactly what he needs. And now we're down to what you have to consider the Hollywood script scenario. 2 outs. Go ahead and run at third. Hall of Fame leaves Smith on the mound. And here comes the man who hit the biggest shot of the day, Cal Ripken Jr. 3-run homer his last time up. The pitch, a bit upstairs, apparently. Ripken's only had the 1 hit, but it's been the hit that's kept the Orioles in a position to maybe go ahead and win this game. Otherwise, they're probably walking away losing. Here comes Smith's next pitch, and it's low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 down, runner at third. Cal Ripken looking for RBI number 4 and possibly number 5 if he can get a hold of one. You can see the sun starting to get low on the horizon and the reflection of the helmets and what have you. Wonder if that's playing any factor in picking up the baseball. 2-1 the count. Lee Smith versus Cal Ripken. The pitch is in there. A called strike right down the middle. Yeah, you can see how the sun's getting lower. It's a warmer glow on the crowd. It's probably about 5:30 at this point. Yeah, probably 5 o'clock. The pitch, low and away, and Cal tried to check his swing, but he went too far. My goodness. A pitch that Cal had no reason to offer at, but he did. And that's going to do it for the Orioles in the 8th. They fail to score despite the leadoff double. We'll head to the ninth, tied up at 4. My goodness, we blew that opportunity. Lead off double in a tie game. You got to get that runner over, and you got to get him in. And you got your you got your 3-4 hitters up to do it. Oh yeah, that's true. You know, actually, I can look up the information on the weather and everything on this page right here. I'll tell you exactly what the hell is up. The game started at 2:15, and the duration is 3 hours and 52 minutes. So, yeah, it's 5 o'clock like right now. Fans smoking. That's awesome. So, yeah, it's right at 5 o'clock right now. Here's Nick Osaski to lead it off for the Sox here in the ninth. Here's a curveball that's golfed into left field. Bradley, though, on the edge of the track. Oh, I'm sorry. It was a tough... that was well played by Bradley, though. I apologize for a poor call, but Osaski smoked a ball off the wall in the left field corner. Bradley played it off the carom perfectly, so well so that Osaski didn't even have a shot at extra bases. So Osaski smokes the ball, does get on base, but the Orioles do a good job in keeping him there. And now it's going to be up to, what's his face? Rich Gedman. So what do you do here? Much different situation if the runner were on second. Gedman isn't much of a... Oh, and they're going to try to steal. They slap the tag down, and he is out. Wow. The running game from both sides today has not been that impressive. There was a steal by Greenwell in this game. But there's been a couple of times where it might have been a hit and run. Gedman was trying to hit that baseball that was clearly off the plate. So it could have been a hit and run situation, but Gedman couldn't make contact. And so that's a huge out. And now Gedman pops it up on the infield, right on the lip of the outfield grass. Gonzalez makes the catch. And just like that, what looked like a potential Boston rally has been all but snuffed out. 2 down, nobody on. And now the ninth man in the order, Jody Reed. The diminutive Jody Reed. Who do the Orioles have due up in the bottom of the ninth? That's what I want to know. I'm trying to think. Who ended the inning last? First pitch to Reed is low and outside. Oh, yeah. 89 was, the mullet was starting probably around 86, 87. By 89, sure. Why not? Here's a pitch that's a little bit high, but only because it's Jody Reed. That's probably a strike to everybody else. Everybody else. Excuse me. Two down in the top of the ninth. Tie ball game, and the pitch is, wow. Did you see that? The ump faked everybody out. He looked like he was going to motion for a strike and then changed his own mind. This ump stinks. Who is this home plate umpire? I've got the information in here. Here's one on the outside corner called strike. Let's see. Attendance. I'll get the umpire info in here somewhere. Where is it? Line drive. Is that a foul ball? I believe it is. Just foul. The ball girl goes out to pick it up. It's a little bit hard for me to navigate this website because I have to keep it so small so that it's hidden from view. The next pitch to... Oh, look at that. Oh, my God. Hold on. Hold on. That ball is breaking off the... Oh, you know what? You know what? I think he did catch that corner. You know what? That's actually a good call. What a pitch that was. Beautiful. Beautiful. Show me. Roll that beautiful beam footage. Look at this pitch. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Curveball and a beauty. And what a job by Holton as he skips his way to the dugout. The Orioles are going to the bottom of the ninth. They can walk this game off. We've got 3 left-handed hitters with pop in their bat due up. Tettleton is a switch hitter, but as long as Boston has a righty on the mound, he's a left-handed hitter. So, yeah, we got some good bats coming up here in the bottom of the ninth. Let's go. Cholesterol screening. Say what? Oh, I remember right around then. Yeah, everything was all about cholesterol. Like, remember Crackling Oat Bran? It was like a hit cereal because it was marketing itself as the cereal to lower your cholesterol. That's stupid. Yeah, there's the jacket, by the way. There's the jacket. There's my jacket right there. I had this. That's it there, Pool. I was looking as sharp as my man Kevin Hickey right here. All right, Lee Schmidt out for another inning of work. He came in to replace Clemens and got out of a jam in the 8th. He will come on to begin the 9th. And Larry Sheets, the first Oriole batter, coming up 1 for 3 with a single back in the 5th. I can't find who the umpires are for this game. And the first pitch is well off the plate outside. 1-0. I want to find the umps. Oh, here it is. Here it is. It's Dan Dinkinger. Or, excuse me, Don Dinkinger. Don Dinkinger behind the plate. Larry McCoy at first. Steve Palermo at second. And Durwood Merrill at third. Don Dinkinger. You dink. Dink, dink. Dink, 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 dink. Dink, dink. Called strike on the outside. Sheets lowers his head and shakes it. Honestly, that looked like a strike, but I understand. I understand everybody for every close pitch, no matter what the call is, going like, what the fuck? Because, again, Don Dinkinger has had a very inconsistent strike zone. I mean, to be fair, it is the first game of the season for the umps, too. I mean, they have their own spring training and whatever, but, you know. Still, it's no excuse. You're a major league umpire. Come on. What are you doing, Dink? What's Dink doing now? Now Dink wants to insert himself into something. Why is Dink going out to talk to Smith? No, nobody's worse than Joe West, except, what's his face? Oh, we have a potential injury situation. The Red Sox trainer is out to have a little powwow with Smith. And it looks like we're going to get a couple of warm-up tosses to see what the deal is. He took one toss, and that's going to do it, it looks like. Smith is walking off. Not sure what happened there. Obviously, something mechanical in the last pitch. I didn't see Smith react in any sort of way. Here's a look at the last pitch. Let's see. I mean, it was a good-looking pitch. Got the call, but you do see him immediately look a little bit ginger. So maybe where the way the foot planted He might have pulled something in his lower half there. And Smith will make his way back to the training room. We'll get a new pitcher out here for the Red Sox. Tie ball game here in the bottom of the ninth. Opening day. And I'm just going to fucking... Here, we have a new pitcher out here. Bit of a conference. Sorry, I just don't feel like wading through all this. It's Rob Murphy. And, of course, Rob Murphy, the lefty, will be given all the time he needs to get warm as he comes in to replace an injured pitcher. He's also doing a lot of barking out there. We're just going to skip through all this crap because it's a long-ass game, and I'm ready to call it a day. Murphy had an awful spring training, but his National League career, good numbers, ERA-wise, 2.6. Here's a look at Frank in the dugout. Making a phone call, ordering a pizza. I don't know. Can we get back underway? Here we go. My God. My God. I picked a long game to do a practice game. All right, Larry Sheets is back in there now. I can't remember what the count was when Smith had to come out of the game, but now we got a lefty in there, and Sheets immediately swings and misses. So there was definitely 2 strikes, and Sheets looked terrible. I mean, if you're going to replace Smith, you might as well go in there and get the lefty. You're not going to pinch hit Sheets in the middle of an at-bat. And Sheets doesn't hit the southpaws very well, as that last swing would indicate. So, 1 down. And I did say 3 lefties would be up here in the ninth, but they brought in a lefty for Boston, so Tettleton turns around to bat righty here against Bob Murphy. Tettleton with that up and look at that. So that's what I'm talking about. Can I please just pull? Look at this. Look at this stance. Look at just sort of this motionless, just coiled up stance, and then watch. Look at the swing. Oh, God! I mean, he just knows how to get after it, doesn't he? Huh. Oh. I'm going to hit the fuck out of this. Oh. Sorry. Swing and a miss. Man, Tettleton took a big cut. Mickey frickin' Tettleton. The pitch is upstairs. 2-1 on the Oriole catcher. 1 away in the bottom of the ninth. Nobody on base. Tie game. Who's that on deck? It looks like a pinch hitter. Here's a swing and a line drive into the corner, but it's foul down there where the stands jut out right near the foul line. Just a couple of feet separate the edge of the stands down there. That ball was smoked. Yeah. That last word pool I don't think is really... There might be some places where that gets you in trouble. Here's a line drive base hit in the opposite field by Tettleton. A nice piece of hitting. He didn't try to do too much. Went the other way. So Tettleton is aboard. I mean, I get it. It's just a shortened word of something that's perfectly fine. But that particular shortened word, some people have a problem with it. You know. Personally, it doesn't make sense to me because if you call Scottish people Scots, that's not a problem, right? And there's other examples. Or, you know, you just shorten the thing and But for Japan, it's I don't know. It's I guess because of World War II and all that, you know. But that's the whole thing about the etymology of words. It's like, well, yeah, it used to be offensive, but now it's not. Like it seems a lot easier to make a word that wasn't offensive and deem it offensive than the other way around. And take a word that was offensive and go, you know what? Now it's not offensive. All right. Why am I looking at this commercial? I'm starting to get hungry. I'm getting hungry. All right, let's go. All right. The Red Sox are now going back to the pen. We got Bob Stanley, who had a great spring training, ERA under 1. In his career against the Orioles, he's hittable. He's closed 12 games out, but an ERA over 4. Yeah, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Venezuela. The Caribbean islands. A lot of talent, but we didn't go across the Pacific to Japan quite yet, or South Korea. Not always. Not always, Pool, but yeah, I mean that's sort of standard. You know, about as standard as an Italian dish having some version of a pasta, but pasta can be very different. Spaghetti feels a lot different than tortellini, doesn't it? But it's pretty much the same stuff. It just all right, here we go. Line drive, and it's going to get down. Right field corner. Making the turn and going to third is Tettleton. And now the ball gets away from the infield, but Tettleton will stay there at third as the pinch hitter Randy Milligan comes through. Pardon me for missing the change. Milligan, the right-handed hitter, coming in to pinch hit for, I guess, Jim Traber. Does that make sense? They're both first basemen. Yes, Milligan came in to pinch hit for Traber. Actually, I believe he came to pinch hit in the previous at bat, and I just missed it. That's my fault. No, I think that was his first hit. Okay, never mind. I apologize. Runners at the corners. Isn't there? Yeah, Tettleton at third, Milligan at first. The winning run just 90 feet away. The pitch to Worthington is outside. We're in the bottom of the ninth. The crowd cheering, applauding. They're not on their feet, per se, although a few are starting to get up. But the noise is definitely beginning to grow here at the ballpark. The pitch is... Where'd that one miss? Low, I guess. Everybody but the umpire thought that was a strike. "90 feet away from an opening day win. The pitch is a called strike outside edge. No comment." Again, I don't even know what to say anymore. I guess that was a strike, but I've also seen that not called a strike. So, whatevs. Pitch. And same spot. And Worthington again has to take a second strike on the outside edge. If I went back and watched Worthington's at-bats, there was probably an outside edge pitch, same location that wasn't a strike, which is why he was taking twice in a row. Anyway, with 2 strikes now, he can't strike out. The pitch, check swing, and what happened? I think he struck out. Yeah, they're throwing to first to complete the play. Worthington unable to get the job done. The runner stays at third base, and now there's 2 away. You're not Worthington. All that does is move the trail runner from first to second base. It doesn't mean much in the winning the game department, as the runner at third will win this game. But it does prevent a force play at second now with 2 down. So a ball, say, hit up the middle, you're going to have to throw him out of first. Check swing from Gonzalez, and it rolls behind the plate foul. Of course, if the Orioles had anybody they could use to pinch hit here, they would. Gonzalez is not a good hitter. But they've already have gone to the well. They used Milligan to pinch hit. They've used Orsulak to come in to replace Finley. So it's up to Gonzalez. The pitch, grounded, and it's chopped to third. And a high throw. Oh, I thought that ball was sailing high. It's fielded cleanly by Boggs at third. He is able to get the runner out at first, and the inning comes to a close. The Orioles unable to win it in the ninth. 90 feet away. They could almost taste it. We're going extras, folks. Why not? This is a long-ass game. Why not go extras? As Randy Milligan, again, he did come on to, it was strange because the Sox went to a right-hander. You had Traber in there as a lefty, but they did the opposite of the conventional wisdom, which is bringing a right-handed pinch hitter to face perhaps the righty Stanley's splits. Have him actually more effective against lefties? I'm not sure. Extra coffee for these games? I tell you what, I'm about to crack open my first sparkling Red Bull. Oh, let's go. I mean, it's a 2:45 in the afternoon here. I've only got a couple more hours of daylight left in me. Wait, let me get this on the mic. There we go. ASMR. Thanks for hanging out, Pool. It is nice to have somebody around to bounce things off of. I have no idea if anybody else has even, like, just wandered in. Doesn't appear to. This is the worst. Like, as far as random people just popping in and seeing what this is all about. This is only the 4th game I've done, but this is the worst of the 4 in terms of people just showing up. And I've done it the same time of day every time. Yep, I know RC did. All right, here's Wade Boggs, and the tracking on the VCR has picked a great time to start screwing up, as we're in extra innings, and now I have to stare at a third of the screen with what looks like some scotch tape across it. Okay, it's clearing up a little bit. Anyway, Brian Holton still out there for another inning of work, and this one's up and away to Wade Boggs. Holton came in to face Barrett, the next hitter, so this is the 9th man he's facing. And he gets a called strike on the outside edge at the knees. The next pitch is outside. Ball 4. Leadoff walk for Boggs, and that's never a good thing. Surely not in a tie ball game in extra innings. Let's see if the Orioles have any more arms they might think about going to, because Holton has now gone through the entire order. He's set to face Marty Barrett here for the 2nd time. Well, it's going to be Holton for the time being. The first pitch and a bunt attempt. He gets it down well. Milligan will just tag the runner in front of him. But a sacrifice that works just like they draw it up. Boggs now in scoring position as the go-ahead run with 2 shots to drive him in. First up is Evans. He'll get the first crack at untying this ball game. Again, is there any inclination of going to another arm for the Orioles? Or do we believe in our bullpen so little starting the season that if somebody like Holton is out there getting outs, just keep him out there? First pitch is a curveball and a beauty. In there for a strike. That ball started about head high, broke all the way to the bottom edge of the zone. The 0-1 to Dewey. Here's a fastball, popped up. Center field. Ranging a little to his left is Anderson. He makes the catch, fires it back toward third base, and is able to keep Boggs at second. And the crowd applauds. So Boggs remains at second base. After being sacrificed there. They have 2 shots to drive him in. Shot 1 did not work. And shot 2 is not going to be in the hands of Mike Greenwell, as he's going to get a free pass with the open base at first. So it'll be 4 intentional balls. The lefty Greenwell will head on down the first, and it'll be up to Ellis Burks to be the hero for the Red Sox here in extra innings. Waiting on one more pitch. Here's another thing in baseball that's been done away with. Now you just say, take the base. But anyway, we go through the motions. Greenwell goes down the first. And in steps Ellis Burks. Trouble brewing here for Baltimore. Burks is 0 for 4, but that only makes you think that he's due. 2 down. Runners on first and second. The pitch, and there's another beautiful Holton curveball. Burks gave up on it immediately. Just had to sit and watch it drop in. More of that, please. Holton's been getting the curveball over and then switching it up with the fastball to good effectiveness. This one's in the dirt, however. 1-1. Fastball in the dirt. First and second, 2 down. Top of the 10th. Opening day. I'm ready to call it a day. The pitch. Another curveball popped up, foul. And looking back is Tettleton. There will not be a play. By the way, Tettleton, a little bit of a Chris Pratt look to him, by the way. Got a little bit of a Chris Pratt look. Just saying. Something for the ladies. And a few gentlemen, too, I guess. I don't know. All right. I should be rolling a J right now. Getting ready for the post-stream J. Burks stands in there. Holton. I mean, how many batters in? This is like the 12th batter he's faced. He's out there working. And apparently he and Tettleton can't agree on a pitch. They'll talk about it on the mound. I'm going to set myself up here for a little work. All right, Tettleton making his way back behind the plate. Gets into the crouch. Burks waves the bat. Holton gets the sign. He probably knows what's coming. The pitch is well off the plate outside. Not even close. What's going on here? Okay. The next one is a curveball low and away. Surely this will be Holton's final inning if he can get through it unscathed. The pitch. Curveball. Hit in the air. Right center. More right field now. And Orsolak is there to make the catch. The Orioles get out of the 10th inning with the score still tied. We go to the bottom half. Who do we got due up? I'm thinking somewhere around the top of the order, right? I'm thinking top of the order. I'm thinking Ripken might walk it off. Yep, we got Brady to lead it off here in the bottom of the 10th, and he takes the first pitch way outside for ball one. Brady's 2 for 3. He's walked and doubled twice. Here's a swing and a line drive, base hit in the right field. The third time today he's roped one into right. This one will only be a single, but it's a big one as we lead it off here in the bottom of the 10th. Anderson looking good in the leadoff position for the Orioles. Spraying the ball, peppering it, should I say, to right field all day long. Check on Anderson as Bradley steps in. He's back. Let's see what they are thinking about here. Bradley hasn't exactly thrilled at the plate. Yep, we're going to think about bunting. However, it's inside, and Bradley pulls the bat back and twists out of the way of an inside pitch. I would assume the bunt is still on again here. Instead, here's a throw back to first, and the ball almost gets away as Sasky has to save a near errant throw there from the pitcher. And now here's a bunt attempt that is going to roll foul. Sasky was ready to pounce on it, but could see that it was going to go foul and allowed it to do so. Anderson covered in dirt on his way back to first. And another check on the runner. Anderson in standing. The pitch to Bradley, and this bunt attempt will get down. They're going to go to second and get the run. Bradley will get the first in time, but wow. There's been several situations for Bradley where he wasn't asked to do much more than either get a bunt down or move a runner over. It's not been a good day at the plate for Phil Bradley. That bunt was not good. He's better than that. Nearly got doubled up. So the bunt does not work out. Bradley takes over for Anderson at first. One away. And the batter, Joe Orsolak. Oh, first another check on Bradley. Smokin' Joe O. Did not start this game, but has been a factor. The pitch, just a bit outside. 1 for 3 with an RBI single. And a check back again on Bradley. I forgot to mention, by the way, that It is still Bob Stanley out there pitching, right? The right-hander. And another throw to first. My God. Between stepping out of the box and whatever, pitcher stepping off the mound, rubbing his crotch, checks on the runners like 8 times. Here's another check on the runner. Are you kidding me? You really don't understand how awful it was until it's gone. I was such a don't change that. Don't change any rules. The pitch off the plate outside. I mean, and when they changed the rule, they really changed the rule. Because as you can see, you could throw over there 4 or 5 times in a row without throwing the home. And now you can only try twice. And then the third time, if you don't get them, they just get second base. And another throw. It's just, I could see why people who would look, people who might otherwise see something good about baseball would see this going on and go like, why would I watch this? This guy keeps throwing over to first base. This is boring. I have to wait 3 minutes for a pitch. And another throw over. For God's sakes. Yeah, now I know why it's a 4-hour game. Now I know. Yeah, it's extra innings, but it didn't go like 16 innings. And a pitch out. After all that, you pitch out. That's how certain they were that dude was running, and yet he didn't run. Maybe you just do the pitch out instead of the throw to first. But I'm sure Bradley was sick of trying to run. Here's a fly ball, right center field. And it's going to be caught out there by the center fielder. That was a tough one to describe, as the camera work was a little bit odd. Yeah, I plus how many times it feels like 10% of the time when a pitcher does the quick whip around and throw to first, like the real quick one that is usually the kind that actually works. Pitchers will, they'll range between kind of like a step off throw move just to kind of let people know you're watching. But then they got like a quicker move. But those quicker moves, here's a pitch to Ripken in there for a strike. You can just tell, you don't do that right, and that ball's going down the right field line. And dude's going to go from first base all the way to third, if not score. The pitch popped up. Right center, the center fielder Burks, the right fielder Evans is going to make the catch. That's going to do it. We're through 10. We're still tied at 4. As Ripken unable to walk it off. He is human after all. We're going to the 11th, folks. And I think this is the last inning based on the way my time meter is looking here. Here's a look at some 1989 fashion, some 1989 hair, as Brian Holton is still out there. Folks, this is not a long reliever in the sense of like a mop-up man or a guy that normally would come on in the 5th or 6th to get you 2 innings or something. No, this is like a typical middle reliever. But in this era, they let him pitch like 3 innings if things were going okay. Jim Rice to lead it off. He takes one inside. We're in the 11th, right? aren't we? I've lost count. The 1-0 popped up. Another big curveball. Rice pops it up. The shortstop Ripken on the outfield grass makes the catch. One down. And the beat goes on. The lights are probably on now at the ballpark. The sun is starting to set. The pitch. Called strike. Nick Asaski, by the way, at the plate. 2 for 3. He's walked, doubled, and singled. Here's one on the outside edge. Tapped foul off to the left. Yeah, I'm a little bummed that just randos didn't show up for this stream at all. Like, I know I haven't done anything algorithm-wise to help my cause, but just randomly doing this 4 previous times, I had randos show up. Nobody showed up for this. Nobody, just slightly curious. Anyway, this first pitch to who's at the plate? I don't know, but it's 1-0. Who is that? And another one in the dirt. Is that a Sasky? I thought yeah, it's a Sasky. I thought he had already hit like 2 minutes ago. I think this game is starting to rot my brain. Here's hoping that for the 2023 or 24, season, here's a pop-up for a Sasky left field. Bradley on the edge of the track, now a couple steps in, makes the catch. And that'll do it for a Sasky. That'll bring up the Red Sox catcher, Bob Guerin. He's 0 for 4. Curveball in the dirt. 0-1. Or excuse me, 1-0. I said Bob Guerin. Excuse me. Rich Gedman. Guerin, Gedman. Both catchers. I'm sorry. Same era. All right. Gedman looks at a called strike on the outside edge. 1-1. 1 out, nobody on. Top of the 11th. 4-4 ball game. Opening day here at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. The pitch. Look at that curveball, man. My God, that's like a Zach Greinke special right there. That damn near looked like an Ephus pitch. That was about a 3 to 4 foot break on that curveball. The next one is chopped. Actually, he got under it and was able to doink it in the center field in front of Anderson. How did he get down and scoop that ball into the outfield? What a nice piece of hitting right there. I mean, that ball was hit like a pitching wedge out into center field. What a piece of hitting that was. All right. Oh, this ball's up and in. Did it hit him? No, it did not. Wow, that was close. Jody Reed having a word with the umpire there. No, I don't think they're trying to hit you, Jody. I don't think they're trying to put more runners on base in a tie game in extra innings. The pitch is low and away. 1-1 on Reed. Where's my little paper? I had it ready to go. I had you ready to go. I lost you. Here's another curveball that's a called strike, and Reed is like, you were caught. And it's true. That umpire was making the motion to call it a strike, I swear, before the ball even wound up in the catcher's mitt. He was just looking at the break of it and went, yeah, that's going to wind up being a strike. Yeah, that looked more like a regular call, and that was definitely a strike. Another big breaking ball from Holton, who's thrown about, 30 of them since coming on. Just a steady diet of giant curveballs. Here's another one, and it's chopped into the ground at short. Ripken will flip it to second, and that will end the inning. We're going to the bottom of the 11th, folks. We're tied at 4. Come on, Baltimore. This is practice, for God's sakes. I mean, if this game ain't over by the time I'm done rolling this J, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to frickin' tell you at that point. If I were a rich man, all day long I'd bitty bum. I don't know what bitty bumming entails, but sounds naughty to me. If I were a wealthy man, wouldn't have to work hard. All day long I'd bitty bum. All right, bottom of the 11th. The Baltimore crowd looking as if to say, hey, I love an opening day game as much as anyone, but they're done selling beer, and I want another beer. So let's get out of here. Let's score and get the hell out of here. All right, Larry Sheets is on. The first pitch, as Stanley is still out there, hit in the air to left center field. Burks calling off Greenwell and makes the catch. So a quick first out in the 11th. Maybe we'll go 12. Maybe it will go 12. That was a quick one. All day long I'd bitty bum. If I were a wealthy man. For the Orioles, the catcher, Mickey Tettleton. Outside. I mean, this was such a great season for Tettleton. Maybe he's the one that walks it off. Maybe Tettleton walks it off right here. This is where the Orioles realize right on day one that, oh, my God, Mickey Tettleton's about to have a fucking great season. This one's outside. I honestly can't remember. I mean, I definitely watched this game, and I know what the actual outcome is, but I don't know how it happened. I don't remember how it happened. But I would love to see Tettleton get a hold of one here and send the crowd home. 1 for 3 with a walk and a single. The pitch is a called strike. Where are we at on the count? I know he's had a couple of balls. The next offering is inside, and that's ball 4. So it was 3 balls on Tettleton. He'll take first base, his second walk of the game. And let's see what happens now. Is it Milligan coming on for his second at bat after replacing Jim Traber? And we have a conference out on the mound. In fact, we might have a pitching change. There is a righty getting loose. I tell you who he is, but he's just some guy with a mustache. He looks like everybody else. He's not important enough for me to know. All right, I'll let you know. I think it's Mike Smithson warming up out there. But for now, Stanley is going to stay in the ballgame. That might have been a stall tactic. Give Smithson out there in the pen more time to get ready for perhaps the next batter. Here's the first pitch to Milligan, and Stanley cannot find the outside edge. It's ball one. The 1-0 to the Moose, they call him. Moose Milligan. The pitch is inside, this time 2-0. So Stanley laboring a little bit out here in the 11th. He's fallen behind Milligan 2-0. And the pitch is swung on and drilled. Right field and down. It's going to get down. And it's going to send the winning run, Tettleton, all the way to third. There you go, Randy Milligan. Here we go. The Orioles are set up once again with only one away and the winning run at third base after a line drive down the right field by Randy Milligan. Tettleton at third. Now, do we have maybe a potential pinch runner we can use? Because I know we have our backup catcher left on the bench that can come in for Tettleton if we didn't score here. But if I had anybody on the bench with a little extra speed in this situation, I would pinch run for Tettleton at third base. And it looks like that pitching change that was in the cards, the previous batter, is now going to happen. Mike Smithson, number 41, is going to come into this ball game, and he's coming into a very, very tricky situation. Yeah, it looks like this is going to be it right here. Look at the time thing. Folks, thanks for tuning into the stream tonight, or whatever time it is you might have tuned in. And I do appreciate it if you somehow watch this at a later date and got all the way to now. I mean, you know what? I probably don't have to tell you this, but, you know, it's just what you're supposed to do. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It's going to be a nice, what do you call it? Sorry, I'm distracted by rolling my own joint over here. It's going to be a blast this coming season. So, yeah, hit the subscribe button if you love the Orioles or if you're just a baseball fan in general. I'm going to tell you right now, this channel is going to be off the chain. No cap. It's going to be off the chain. No cap. Here's Smithson out on the mound. Out on the mound now. I can tell that I'm ready. I'm done. I'm like, words are just bleeding into each other. Here's Smithson out on the mound now. You really do need to enunciate as a broadcaster versus just regular conversation talk. Enunciation is very important. All right. There's a shot of a couple of Oriole legends, Cal Sr. and Frank Robinson, discussing strategy. Frank probably telling Cal exactly what to do in terms of when to send the runner home and when to say stay put. That'll be Ripken's job to relay that to Tettleton, and he's having a conversation right now, going over every possible scenario and what to do. It's going to be up to Craig Worthington. He's made a couple of nice plays on defense today over at third base. Now he has a chance to be the hero at the plate. The pitch, and it's a pitch out. The Red Sox thought the squeeze was on. Wow, that is really old school baseball. I mean, not to just use the squeeze, but to pitch out in anticipation of a squeeze. That's hard. That's hardcore. Want to know the count. The pitch. Popped up. High fly ball. Left center. And it's a diving attempt that is not caught. Tettleton can walk home. And the Orioles walk it off on opening day. Yes, sirree, Bob, ain't the beer cold. Craig Worthington, with the outfield drawn in, was able to find a spot between left and center field. And the left fielder, Greenwell, went into a dive. It wouldn't have mattered had he made that catch. Tettleton could have scored after tagging up. But it turns out the ball fell, and Tettleton had an easy path to score the winning run. The Orioles in the win column here on opening day 1989. Come on, folks. You remember the 88 season. It took till game 22 to get a first win. In 89, we did it on opening day. Ladies and gentlemen, that's your ball game. Brian Holton, your winning pitcher, Bob Stanley, the loser. 5-4 Orioles. Thank you for tuning in to Retro Play Call. And again, thanks to the channel that provided the game, Trust Your Stuff. Head on over to Trust Your Stuff's channel and keep the baseball magic going. That's it for me. Again, like and subscribe, folks. And I'll be back doing another practice game, I'm sure, between now and, let's say, the end of the week. All right? Hey, Poole, thanks for hanging out. Get a good night's sleep, buddy. I don't know when or where you are, but I figure it's probably late. So, adios, muchachos. Have a good one, guys. Oriole Birdwatcher.